All right, boys, we have a lot to cover here today. We have 6 preseason games last night. I actually do think there were some pretty valuable nuggets to be mined out of the games last night. Generally speaking, we are going to get as much information as possible from the beginning of the preseason games as opposed to some of the later ones because teams are actually still making their decisions right now. Obviously, we are going to take Bijan Robinson at 1.2, and we sadly know that we are not going to be getting Bijan Robinson in the Flock League because turns out, in a way that was very unexpected to me, if you've never used a Jugs machine before, actually legitimately very difficult. I think the catching itself I actually could have figured out, but the combination of because you got to understand, for me, that's a very new situation. I don't know these guys, and I'm very caffeinated in the morning. I was also doing a big eliminator draft while we were sitting in there. I was not as locked in as I should have been. Wasn't as locked in as I should have been, and that's the way it goes. I think ultimately dropping the second one, when I dropped the 45-mile-an-hour one, it was not going to happen because there was you would have to be a special sort of athlete to lock in and really be ready to go. And if I was a really special sort of athlete who could lock in and be ready to go, I probably wouldn't be a fantasy football analyst. Honestly, I don't. The thing about it is I didn't find it. I think shockingly difficult would be the wrong way to say it. I didn't actually find it shockingly difficult. I actually found it. I don't actually know the right way to explain this, but it's basically I was able to understand what I needed to do up until the point when the ball fired. You know what I was saying? So when it's okay, I had an exact plan. I was like, all right, I'm going to hands catch. I'm not going to body catch, right? You don't want to be body catching up. Oh, you know what? Actually, I haven't even posted this on social media yet, but the last one, the 55-mile-an-hour one, I got a massive shiner from the last one. I got a big bruise on my last one. So it was not great. But it is what it is. We move on. We hope that our benevolent overlord Jinxy is not too upset about it, and we vibe. I don't think I can zoom in. I'll post in the Discord. I will post the shiner on my upper bicep in the Sloppy Central Discord. You know what? This is so true. It does. Sounds like everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face, and that is basically what happened to me, which is that I did get punched in the face, and that's there you go. Yes, basically everyone took it to the body. Because once it got to 55 miles an hour in the video, no one was catching those. None of this group. I mean, I'm sure obviously plenty of people can, but no one in this group was doing it. Do we want to do? You know what? I'm just gonna take neighbors. I'm gonna take neighbors with Bijan there. The video is on the Flock League fantasy football YouTube. So if you just type in the Flock League on YouTube, it will pop up. And wow, yeah, I mean, is this a start that people are getting frequently? Bijan Robinson, Malik Neighbors, Nico Collins, shit is free. This is unbelievable. No, you did not miss the second Mastiff. To be honest, this has been a very, very busy experience for everyone. There's been very little downtime. I don't know if there's been 2 hours on the trip to go run over to Mason's house to go record the draft. We've been grinding. It's a lot of organizational stuff going on. Wow, someone in this draft did the Bowers McBride thing. Sal is jacked. Yes. If any of you guys have never seen Sal's athletic prowess, Sal is jacked. He's a great dude. Also, I've really enjoyed hanging out with Sal. It's been a very cool experience. I did not realize it was a derby. I did not realize it was a derby at first. Not that would have changed my effort level, though. The effort level would have been the exact same. It's not as if anyone was hoping to not do well. I think the only guy who said that he was fine to bow out early would be I believe the only guy who was going to bow out early was Bush, because he said if he wasn't going to be first, so if he had gotten an early strike, that he was fine to bow out early. Is Zamir White or Trevor Etienne draftable? Not to me. I mean, I could see why you'd want to do Zamir White, but it doesn't, to me, it does not sound like they think Jordan James or Kalen Black are going to miss the regular season. I mean, I guess maybe Zamir White could get, theoretically, he could be the running back too for the 49ers. It's true. Yeah, my guy Jinxy is our qualitative right now, and we are rooting for him, bro. Trust me. I hope that Jinxie is locked in to watching whatever is on the Flock Fantasy YouTube channel. I mean, frankly, I hope he just signs up for flockfantasy.com and drafts off Mason's rankings, because Mason's rankings and my rankings and Mason's rankings are actually like fairly close to another one. No, it was not unfair for Bush, because Bush dropped a pass. It hit the ground, and they said they let him keep it. When we all knew that Bush did not. Dez caught it, but Bush did not catch that ball. All right, Bijan, Neighbors, Nico. Is this too early for Stribling, you guys think? 4th round, too early for Stribling, or is this right about Stribling range? All right, I don't want to take Montgomery, so I'm going to take Swift. I don't think you want to be doubling up on the Houston Texans guys to admit. I mean, takeaways from Love's performance is that he never Love has been a target of mine the entire time, and it just kind of justifies. Oh, man, okay. What do we do here? This is a hard spot to choose. All right, well, actually, I'm going to take a receiver. I'm going to take Parker Washington, because both of my first wide receivers have week 8 buys, and now I can avoid that. Yeah, Stribling at the 4 or 5 turn. What is the best draft assistant for live draft ranks? Well, if you use the Flock Fantasy tool on ESPN or Sleeper or Yahoo or wherever you're doing your draft, it will update immediately. So it will give you our rankings and everything. It'll show you the tiers as you go through the draft, and it'll say, okay, there are 4 players left in a tier. Pretty cool. I used it for my home league, and it was really nice. Takeaway is that Love looked good, wanted more time to load up. This is a very good comment. Parker Washington will be a cornerback by week 8. DJ Moore or Jalen Waddle. I have Jalen Waddle ranked way ahead. There you go. Did see Strib in my BBMs this morning in the 90s. That's crazy. The Flock League draft is tomorrow. And yes, we do have Superflex rankings up on the site. 2 takeaways. Yes, 2 very good takeaways from my guy Chirath here. Keaton has always been a good click, and Cam Ward, Tennessee, might be dreadful. Frankly, I would say that was actually my number 1 takeaway from watching the games last night. We had the games on in one of the houses last night, and we were watching the Raiders-Cardinals game. Some of the guys here are IU fans, so they really wanted to watch Mendoza. And I was like, guys, we got to watch this Tennessee game. And I frankly wish we wouldn't have put the Tennessee game on, because now every time I need a second quarterback and Cam Ward is there, I think just seeing how bad Cam Ward was and how bad he looked, and how it didn't look like there had been too many improvements, for Mr. Ward. I was really rooting for him. There was a couple weeks here this offseason where I was like, oh man, I'm really selling myself on Cam Ward. I think he can be great, But yeah, I don't really feel that good. GM. Yeah, I have a little bit of a dinger sweat, Ben. Looks like I'm about 80 points behind on one of my dingers getting to the final. So I will root for myself and I will be rooting for you. Can we talk about Carnell Tate? I mean, I'm not gonna sweat. I'm not gonna sweat Carnell Tate not getting a catch in his first preseason game. I think that is what it is. I mean, one of the interesting things was that Spears actually had the same amount of carries with the first team as Pollard. I don't think I had been predicting that as much. This is also okay. Jaylen Warren is still there. I was going to say these 6-7 turn picks have become my least favorite picks on the board, basically. I mean, I'm not going to say avoid the Titans at all costs. I think like Helm is okay. I do think Tate is still fine. I think Wandale is still fine, but I'm definitely not. I'm definitely not like actively like targeting these guys. I don't think like betting on a Titans rebound is a big part of what I'm doing. Do I want to take Caleb with? Do I want to take Caleb with Swift? Let's just take Metcalf. Let's do the boring decimal thing, and we'll take Metcalf, giving us a team of Bijan Robinson, DeAndre Swift, Jaylen Warren, Malik Neighbors, Nico Collins, Parker Washington, and DK Metcalf. Yeah, QB at the 6-7 turn is just kind of generally the default there. The Titans being awful would definitely benefit a Singleton type of pick late. That is certainly true. If Cam Ward falls to Bright, no, I would still rather have Cam Ward than Bryce Young. That much is true. I would. Does Brooks push to the Warren Pollard range now with potentially no timeshare? I mean, I would guess Jonathan Brooks is actually going to end up on average going ahead of Ramondre with the Chuba Hubbard stuff. Now, we are going to get a little bit more, like we're going to get some more subtext to what this injury is for Chuba Hubbard, this hamstring injury. Like it might truly end up being nothing. He got an MRI on it. They said they expect him back by week 1. We'll see. Hamstring injuries for what is Chuba Hubbard, like a 28-year-old running back, I think he would be 27. So you're already getting to the point where you might be a little bit worried about, consistency, ability. I mean, trust me, dude. I'm 33 and my reaction time is getting worse every day. In a vacuum with no correlations involved, I would rank them Jameson Williams, Mike Evans, Terry McLaurin, Christian Watson, DJ Moore. I mean, I think that's the absolute ceiling for where Brooks could go. I can't really personally imagine taking Jonathan Brooks ahead of Jadarian Price. There will be some people out there who will, though. Because there are a fair number of people who don't want to draft Jadarian Price. I don't get these people. I don't understand these people, but they are out there. That is true. Would they really do that? Would they really give A.J. Dillon 9 carries if Hubbard is still out? Maybe they would. Didn't A.J. Dillon have like some kind of like a spine neck injury thing going on? See, this is why I passed on the quarterback to the last turn, because I knew there was going to be a quarterback I liked here. I'm actually going to skip on Dart though, because I'm going to do a real play the hits turn here. I'm going to take Mahomes, and then after taking Mahomes, I'm going to dare this guy. Oh, I didn't notice this guy to my left only had 2 wide receivers. This might have been a mistake, but I'm going to do the Mahomes worthy turn and probably get Kelsey at 119 if the room will give that to me. Bang. All right. Giving us a team of Pat Mahomes, Bijan Robinson, DeAndre Swift, Jaylen Warren, Malik Neighbors, Nico Collins, Parker Washington, DK Metcalf, and Xavier Worthy. You love to see it. I mean, they might run him into the like. I think the Jonathan Brooks thing is sort of interesting. Like, yeah, you don't want to run him into the ground year 1, but how much are you really trying to plan your life as a franchise around a guy who is not healthy? I wouldn't be like, I think whatever you get out of Jonathan Brooks, they took him in the second round. Whatever you get out of Jonathan Brooks, that's like surplus value. Because most running backs who've had his injuries, you would just anticipate them being done. You would just anticipate that was it, right? So to even get him back on the team is probably a win. Just realized I have close to $2,000 on Tyquan Thornton. Did I mog you? How are we feeling about those bags with the emergence of Cyrus Allen? You've probably mogged me. I would have to check. I mean, I do draft a lot of Tyquan Thornton. I think your bags feel fine. I don't think you need to be worried. Tyquan Thornton you just need him to catch like 4 long touchdowns. Besh did look pretty good. That was actually a nice one from last night. What is with the Rashee Rice FUD? He just looks bad in these clips that are being posted from training camp, but I don't really know if there is anything to be gained from watching those clips. Yes, and Brooks' contract is going to be up soon. Like literally, they've got nothing from him on this contract. I'm with you. I think of the more likely things, they're like less likely to care about what is going on with Jonathan Brooks and just say, yeah, man, let that guy run into the ground. Hoping Brooks is the skeleton key for Bryce Young to become a league average quarterback. I'm not feeling that great about that one. I thought the Packers stuff was pretty interesting yesterday. Reed was targeted twice. Golden was not targeted. Golden played every snap with the first team. Reed, of course, left the field with 12 personnel. I probably care a little bit more that Golden looks like just like an absolute full-time starter, just like stone cold. I think Golden should probably, I mean, they're going to crucify me for this, but he should probably be going ahead of Jayden Reed. I think Golden will out-target, out-snap, and score more fantasy points than Jayden Reed. No one wants to hear it. Everyone wants to say that he's terrible. Oh, Matthew Golden, he's awful, yada, yada, whatever, so on and so forth. He's not terrible. And there's like a pretty good chance they kind of let Jordan. I'm trending more and more as we take Kelsey here to believing that the Packers might legitimately air it out this year. And not to say that Reed is a bad pick. All right. Do we need to take a second quarterback here? So we've got Stroud. No, this is I actually know who I'm going to take here. I know who I'm going to take. I'm going to take rested with the starters last night, Keaton Missile at pick 122, giving us a running back room of Bijan Robinson, DeAndre Swift, Jalen Warren, and Keaton Missile. Amarian Hampton rested. Keaton Mitchell rested. All the starters rested. You know who played last night? Kamani Vidal played last night. Now, why is that? Why would Kamani Vidal play last night while Keaton Mitchell got rested? Why is that? It's hard to say, but I'm pretty sure I have a guess as to why it happened, which is that Keaton Mitchell is just going to be he's the A-Chan. He's the Lightning. Oh, I should have made this the title of the video. Oronde Gadsden is dead. Like do not draft this guy. I moved Gadsden down in the rankings on the site. I moved him down so low. I think Gadsden is the same pick right now in fantasy football as like Mike Gesicki. I mean, what is the functional difference between Gadsden, who just played with not even Trey Lance? I believe I'm gonna be honest. I did fall asleep. I did fall asleep last night about 9:30. But Gadsden, I believe, was playing in the third quarter with DJU. It's over, man. You cannot be drafting Oronde Gadsden right now. You can be drafting Kalar. I think you could draft Njoku. I probably will not be an Njoku drafter because I'm so worried about like his health and his knees and everything. But you could get away with it for sure. I would probably actually rather draft Njoku than Gadsden right now. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. I agree. I do think it is like legitimately unbelievable. I don't know why this is their plan. Like when I think of like, wow, like what a dynamic moldable ball of clay. Gadsden looks bigger too. He gained some weight. He's been working on the run blocking. He's been talking about the run blocking. He's kind of saying everything you want a young guy to say, but the team is doing all but telling us, you know what it reminds me of? Do you guys remember, I believe his name was Antonio Callaway. He was on the Cleveland Browns. I think this was during the Huey era for the team. It's not Huey Lewis. Huey, whatever his name was. The 0-17 Browns coach. Hugh, whatever. But this guy, Antonio Callaway, he was, after this year, the 2018 year, he was like a pretty high pick in fantasy, and then it was just over. It was just done. He was like, "Yeah, man, we are not interested in that." Hugh Jackson, thank you. I don't know why I couldn't pull that. Hugh Jackson. Yeah, that's what it's giving. That's what it reminds me of. As we take C.J. Stroud here for our second quarterback. Yeah. Worst flag plant of all time might have been Caleb Johnson. I really did think he was good too. All right, we're going to skip on tight end here. We're going to take our actually, we're going to take Trey Tucker because that gives me another quarterback to take if I want. It's true. You really never know how like a new coaching staff, like a new play caller is going to see players. And for some reason, McDaniel looked at Gadsden and said, "Hey, you had more receiving yards in your first 5 NFL games than Charlie Collar has in his career, but we're done with you, man. We're done with you. We're done. We're out." Gadsden equals Ladarius Green is actually a great comp. I love that from my guy. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, I didn't take any Caleb Johnson this year, I don't think. God, I would hope I didn't take very much Caleb Johnson this year. If I did, something is really wrong with me. I did really like Caleb Johnson as a prospect, though. Just those sort of big-bodied guys. You know, he was big. He was insanely productive. He was still really high in, like, he still got the draft capital even after not having a great combine. I do not think Saquon Henry is too boomer of a start, but I probably would rather have Walker. Yeah, McDaniels played, Durham Smythe and the Julian Hill, I guess. Yeah. Caleb Johnson. God, I mean, I'm sure I've taken him. I'm positive that I've taken him just because I've taken so many players, but it really better be like less than 1%. Will Shipley. Yeah, I mean, Will Shipley did disappear. Chrysler 300 looks like a Phantom till a Phantom pulls up. Tank Bigsby's a pretty good running back. One draft for the rest of your life. Who is the double tap? Jefferson Walker, for sure. I'm drafting Gadsden because his upside's crazy good. You just may need him for his only spike week of 30 points. I mean, that's true. And I guess now that the market is getting more efficient, it makes sense. Like, if you could get him in round 18, sure. Caleb Johnson, I've taken 19 times. Looks like I took him 10 times on DraftKings. So and 7 times in the big board. 1 time in the field general, 1 time in the little board. I wonder what was going through my mind to take him in the field general. That is terrible, but I don't know. I hope maybe Caleb Johnson gets waived and signs as the backup running back for the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, do I want to add in another Houston Texan here? Would I rather take a running back? I mean, I actually don't think Kamara is terrible here. Man, running back does just get absolutely. Yeah, I am gonna take Kamara just because he is a human being who is alive on this team. I don't hate that at all. Can I explain the Worthy slide? I think it's because he got hurt and people just remembered that he's a little guy. I really think that's all that it is. Do we take Dalton Schultz? Or would I rather take Sadiq here because I already have Kelsey? You know what? Let's take Barner. I bet I have like no Kelsey Barner combos. What if Kelsey Barner? is what you need in fantasy football. The Gadsden stuff is nerve-wracking, but last year, from what I saw, Herbert sees him and likes him. You're probably true. Literally, yes. My Kamara bull case is that he is a person that is alive. That's all I've got for you. I don't think he's any good anymore. I don't even really think he's got too much contingent value. I just think he is a person who's alive. My quantitative has Alvin Kamara for 500 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, 35 receptions, 232 yards, and 1 touchdown. I think I would take those numbers on this given team, actually. Would I trade Gadsden for Jake Ferguson in Dynasty? No, I wouldn't. I would rather have Jake Ferguson. Oh, yes, I guess I would. My view on Mike Washington has not changed because I've had him ranked slightly ahead of ADP for a while. How optimistic am I on Stroud rebounding closer to his rookie season? 0%. 0% confident. I think if it does, it will almost be a happy accident. I just don't really think he's all that good at all. Well, that's actually not true. I do think CJ Stroud is quite good. I think that the way that they have their team structured with D'Amico Ryans as the head coach, they like playing the way they play. They probably almost rightfully feel that they could have been a Super Bowl team last year if they somehow got through that game against the Patriots. I mean, CJ Stroud was so bad in that game. I have no idea how many snaps Love played against the first team defense. I don't think it's material at all. Defenders are defenders. Thoughts on Omar Cooper? Feels like AD Mitchell is ahead of him. Yeah, this one I can't tell if I'm being a training camp overreactionary. Maybe I am being a training camp. I didn't like Omar Cooper Jr. as a prospect anyway. I actually thought Surratt was probably better than him, and I definitely think that if Sadiq was healthy, he would be way ahead. And I'm also an AD Mitchell guy. I was actually arguing about this with Avery yesterday. I was like, I actually don't care that he can't put it all together, because if he did ever put it all together, he would be such an insane smash. He would be so much better than Omar Cooper Jr. Damn, I was going to take Freiermuth. Snapped off on Freiermuth. That is really annoying. We're going to let that one go. I'm actually just going to go ahead and take Tank Dell here. That's a lot of Houston Texans on one team. I didn't even get a chance to take Cyrus Allen. Constantly feeling myself between these three. How do I rank Coker, Debo, Stribling? Strib, Debo, Coker, Shaheed would be my order of preferences of those players. And then I got to add in, I'm guessing the Flock Tool has me taking. Ooh, Flock Tool has 3 tight end and 3 quarterback being way better. Is there a third? The issue is there's not really a third quarterback that is takeable at this slot. So it would be Jester, Gunnar, Helm. I could take Jeremy. I could take Keenan. I'm just going to take Helm. I'm actually not really that worried about Helm. I think Helm is fine. Helm got a bunch of the run. When is the Stribbler ship chasing clip going to come out? I don't think Jacob will allow. Although Jacob said he was considering capitulating. He was considering capitulating, and he should, because Stribling was not a very good prospect. But sometimes that stuff does not matter. You know what I'm saying? How far does Allen have to slide? Like Josh Allen? I would take Josh Allen in the mid-4th. Like if my choice was between Josh Allen and Mike Evans, I would take Josh Allen sometimes. The buzz on Raritan has been great. Chris, I'm cool. I'm very cool with the rep back out on the streets. It is what it is. The Jugs machine was harder than I thought, and that's okay. That's okay. Not everything's got to be for everybody. It was a tough scene, but that's all right. Mitchell has been open his whole career. Yes, he gets open very easily. And sometimes that's just the way it goes. Yeah, I am going to do another draft after this for sure. Maybe even a couple. You know what? I'm going to message Sammy and see if he wants to come over and come draft with me. 1 second. Sammy's over at the other Airbnb, but maybe he'll come and well, he can be the microphone holder actually. That's what I'm saying. Should have been a kickflip challenge, bro. That's what I'm saying. I was not throwing a silent protest. I was trying my absolute best, but sometimes that's just the way she goes. I saw a draft where Genty fell to pick 19. Get me in that draft. I think, Chris, that Yon Wissa is my most drafted forward, I believe. So the exercise that I floated for next year was I floated closest to the pin on a par 3 or mini golf. I mean, I think we will probably keep it football related, but we'll see. I don't think the Raritan Buzz is all that weak, brother. I think the Raritan Buzz is pretty lit. And we're gonna take Taekwon, and we have got Patrick Mahomes, CJ Stroud, Bijan Robinson, DeAndre Swift, Jalen Warren, Keaton Missile, Alvin Kamara, Malik Neighbors, Nico Collins, Parker Washington, DK Metcalf, Xavier Worthy, Trey Tucker, Tank Dell, Taekwon, Travis Kelce, AJ Barner, Gunnar Helm. I mean, that's just a pretty straight up one there. Give me a good book recommendation. I don't know. I think we're gonna see. Oh, maybe Sammy has a good book recommendation for you. I'm gonna go grab a Celsius because I am declining here. So here you have them.
Oh my god, it's a lot of pressure, dude. What is going on, good people of the chat? Bad showing from our hero Davis Maddock in the draft order video. Not the best. But I think he's going to make up for it with some really good advice for our boy Jinxy. What's going on? What's going on, Groovy? What's going on, Van Dyke? Charlie Kolar take? I'm out of breath. I just ran over from the other house. Not in peak form at the moment. Thoughts on Charlie Kolar? Draftable, I think. All right, let's set this thing up. Was that in the fridge?
No, they're hot. And all we had was Alani news, which is not great. All right. What do we want to draft? Let's see. The eliminator closed. Is there anything new? There's not anything new. All right. Okay. We're going to do BBM. Done. Bang. Did a main event with a coworker last night. 2v2. Pittman, Michael Wilson, Addison, and Jayden Higgins versus Harvey, Golden, Debo, and Boston. I want side 2 just because I think I'm out on Jordan Addison. I'm having this come to Jesus moment that maybe I'm wrong about Kyler Murray. Like maybe there's a chance that I'm wrong about Kyler Murray. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that it's hard to see a world in which the passing volume is like plentiful, but I think it could be good enough where he can pay off wide receiver forward. Like, I don't think Jordan Addison's going to, like, smash by any means, most likely. But I think he can pay off that cost. I really do. I'm still drafting a ton of Jordan Addison. I believe in the system more than I believe necessarily in, like, Kyler's innate ability to really improve as a passer.
I think you're probably right. I mean, the thing that I'm worried about is that Addison is such a deep threat, and they are not going to be able to scan, like, all the scamming is going to be for Justin Jefferson. You know what I mean? Like KOC knows he cannot let that happen again. He can't let Justin Jefferson have 1,007 yards or whatever. All right, we are at the 1.4. Are we still taking Puka?
Yeah, I'm not scared at this point. It could get worse, but I wouldn't deviate here. If JSN was like more of an attractive pick, then I think maybe I'd consider it. But I think he's just such a locked in 105. I wouldn't change it. I do think it is bearish that Puka's just being such an idiot. Like running around, the fact that he's at this dude's like he's at the richest party in the world, and he's running around to the point of cutting his face on glass doors.
I saw someone tweet yesterday on top of the Fanatic story that Puka Nacua is a dog that got a wish granted to be a human. That what Puka is doing is like you watch him and you're like, yeah, no duh, this guy always has a concussion. No duh, this guy is always getting injured because he's a dog that he got his wish granted to be human. Okay, I need you to tell them the Jugs machine. For me, the Jugs machine was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
No, 100%. It was. I knew it would be difficult. I didn't think it would be so painful because like there's really no way to. If you try and catch it outside of your body, it just becomes instantly harder. We're gonna try and show the chat. Yeah, dude. You should. I mean, I don't think that Danny's arm has ended up anywhere. I'm gonna see if I can get this up because this this was painful, dude. Like I lucked out that I didn't end up with like any crazy bruise or anything. But oh my god, yeah, look at this. That's Danny's arm yesterday.
Danny's arm got absolutely cooked. I don't think anything happened to Sal.
No, I think he was sore yesterday because he didn't go to the gym with you because his back was hurting.
No, yeah.
But no, it is crazy. Once you get up to 30 was whatever, once you get up to like 50, 55, it is way faster than it even looked on camera. You can hear the thumps in the video. Like I was just hitting everybody. It was nuts. It was way worse than I thought it was going to be. I agree with you.
The thing about wearing gloves is that I'm not a football player. I never played football. The gloves were certainly helpful. I'm not gonna lie and say the gloves were not helpful. Like when we were playing catch and stuff like that, it definitely was. But also I'm just gonna keep it real. I was not ready, dude. I was not ready. I was not locked in. I was not focused enough. I thought this was gonna be so easy. And then I'm in my head. So because I was the first one to drop one. And so then I'm in my head. I'm like, dude, you cannot fail. And obviously the worst thing to do if you're in that spot is to be like, yeah, dude, you can't fail. Like, because if you were about to do a physical task and the thing you were telling yourself, is got to be Bowers, right? If the thing you're about to do is saying, well, the reason why everyone was catching with their bodies instead of their hands is that we are not athletes, bro. It was hard.
You can't catch with your hands because as soon as it gets to your hands, if you're not like perfectly doing that, it can go anywhere. Like if you don't plan for the body catch, it was just going to be the reason everybody did it. It wouldn't have gone so long if it was just catch with your hands. It would not have gone as long as it did. There wouldn't have been as many bruises either. But the body catch was really the way to go because you really just have to absorb the ball, which hurts a ton. But like if you try to catch outside your body, that's where the gloves would have helped.
And I did. So the first one, I'm the idiot, right? I'm the dumb one because I'm like, okay, like I don't want a bunch of people on the internet to make fun of me, so I am gonna try and hands catch. I go up first, it smokes by me because it's 40 miles an hour, and I'm like, shit, this is really fast. And then I'm behind, and then I'm watching everyone do the body catch. I gotta actually give props. Bush, I think his first 3, he all did hand catches, and he actually him and Sal like looked the best.
I mean, the less meat you got on your body, the more it's gonna hurt, right? You need some more skin to absorb that. Yeah, I'm not trying to go 0 RB in this situation. I do think you end up in a. Well, no, I mean like I'm not trying to not go. I want to go 0 RB here because I can't pull up. I can't do the pull up on Kyron or Javonte or anything. I guess Jeremiah Love had a really good night, eh?
He looked sick. We were watching that game last night. I would say he was the only one where I felt my slappy sensibilities start to be like, oh, maybe I should pull. Jeremiah Love up. No, Avery was making fun of me because we were talking about our rankings while we were watching the game last night. And I was like, oh, dude, I've had Stripling ahead of ADP this whole time or whatever. And he's like, Davis, is there any player that gets Twitter buzz that you do not like? And I had to think. I'm sure there are some. Is there any? I'm trying. There's got to be one. That's true.
There does seem to always come a capitulation at the end. Like I had the other draft on because I was going to join the second one, and then I saw P Wash at 50, and I just head down, shook my head.
I've fully capitulated. I've fully capitulated on Parker Washington. Yeah, no, I'm fully capitulating on Parker Washington. I'm trying to think. Is there anyone else that everyone really likes on? I mean, I guess you know what? I guess Loveland. I mean, I think Loveland is fine, but I'm not making Loveland part of my personality because I've decided where I want to be there. I mean, what are you doing with the Bears guys now?
I'm definitely Loveland, very much Loveland pilled. For like my rankings on the site now are redraft rankings. I have him at 31. Like that's Jen. I have him 2 spots behind McBride. I do think I think that I had a My Guys video come out last week. He was in that. It's sort of just a thing where I think, seasons get written about players. And I think looking at the board this year, like I really do think that Loveland could be the story of this year. I think that the Burden injury kind of goes along with that. We've been like, there's a lot of
it opens stuff up for him.
There's a lot of Burden Rome conversations all off season, right? And I think that the answer is just the guy that Ben Johnson needed to have 10th overall, the elite receiver coming out of college. I just think that this could be like this partnership. Caleb Williams could easily be this generation's Mahomes skeleton.
I actually think that's a really good comp, and that's the one the Bears keep highlighting him. Like every time you hear someone from the Bears organization say something about him, that's what they say. All right, we are up. Skattebo, Burden. Let's do it. I have drafted like no teams like this because I've been so scared. I've been so scared of the zero.
I'm mixing it in a little more because I would never do this in a redraft league, but I do think it's viable in a way, like just not making it a massive part of my portfolio, but having enough teams where I'm kind of zigging where everybody else is zagging with pushing the running backs up. Like what if, it's just dumb that we pushed all these running backs up and then zero RB is just very viable this year with, maybe we have a few injuries which we haven't had recently. Who knows if the peptides and whatever, but running backs have run really pure. And I just think that there's a world in which that changes in 2026.
I completely agree, honestly. And I think it would be so dumb. It's got to be Tuten, right? Yeah. I think it would be so dumb to have drafted fantasy football teams the way I drafted them for the last 10 years and then to be like, hey, man, I really need to make sure that 4th round David Montgomery is a big part of my portfolio. I told this to Avery and Bush last night. I said, David Montgomery is Atlanta Falcons Mike Davis.
Oh God, it's not that bad. It's not that bad because he does, Mike Davis did largely nothing up until the point that he ended up on the Falcons, right? Let me see his what he did previous to being on the Falcons.
Yeah, the one good year for Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, even then though, 642 yards.
But it was
Monty has an RB1 season under his belt. Yeah. So I think it could also be 2024 Joe Mixon on the Houston. You know what I mean? So there are multiple out there. It is a very dead zoney profile, without a doubt. Older running back, it's a projectable volume play on an offense that isn't very exciting at all. I think that the Stroud Nico thing could be exciting, but it just hasn't looked good the past few years, and that's obviously scary. So he's not a big part of my portfolio at all. Neither is really Swift or Judkins. I'm really if Skattebo falls, I like doing that. I don't take a ton of him, but I'm just slamming Tuten. That's really what I'm doing.
I'm slamming Tuten there too. I mean, if I had to put a percentage on it, I'm 11% worried that he just is a trap back and that what's his name? LaQuint Allen gets the third downs. Chris Rodriguez. I mean, if they split goal line stuff, if it's like 50-50, I'm actually fine with that. I think the price is totally fine there. If the plan as a team is for them to have straight up 100% Chris Rodriguez the goal line work, then Tuten is overpriced for sure. He is.
Yeah. If it's like that's the role for him, like if it's like a Sean Tucker Bucky thing from last year, then I completely agree with you. I also think that Tuten's like going to be, we often I think we over analyze and overplay the whole like goal line roll thing. It is important, of course. Like a guy like Bucky Irving, he's hitting a bunch of these long runs inside the red zone, but they're not necessarily within the 5 yards of the goal line. And Tuten's the same way. Like he's going to break off big plays that turn into touchdowns. It's not like no goal line roll means he's definitely going to have like 3 touchdowns this year. Like he could have like 5 goal line carries and score 10 touchdowns.
He could, and I'm trying to think how many. Like Bucky had 0 touches inside the 5 last year, still scored, and he wasn't even like a super goal line back his rookie year. I mean, and Bucky and Tuten are not the same thing. Tuten is bigger. Tuten is stronger. He's much more of a goal line style back anyway. But yeah, I mean, honestly, Dawson is like totally right here, which is that if Tuten is like what the prospect bros think he is, he's going to smash. And if he sucks, then it's honestly, it's actually similar to the Bills, to Bill last year. It's like if Bill was good, he had the opportunity all there for him. And it turns out he was like just okay. I think this is a gift. I think we should take Ramondre here.
Yeah. Oh, I go Warren over Ramondre.
I think they're both. I mean, honestly, I think they're both fine. Why do you like Warren over Ramondre?
Well, I think I just, I'm worried a lot more about Trayvon Henderson than I am about Rico Dowdle. I think that's what it comes down to. Better offense, of course, with the Patriots. Warren's a big stand for me in the once price goes. I mean, Travion falls to 62 here, which is kind of wild. But once that tier goes, I really do prefer Warren to the Ramondre Pollard now, which go shortly after. I just think a lot of pass catching opportunities. Kenny Gainwell gone. I do think he does that a lot better than Rico Dowdle. Rico Dowdle, everywhere he goes, he's just been, Jonathan Brooks. Everywhere Rico goes, we're back on the clock. Pollard, or I wouldn't mind pulling up Downs either if you want to do that. Of course you want it. Yeah.
The Titans stuff yesterday. The Titans stuff yesterday was not good, man. And I know that probably overreacting to what a quarterback did in a preseason game is not great. But also, I remember watching Will Levis in the preseason and being like, this shit ain't not going to work. And what would have been really nice would have been for Cam Ward to execute oh man, he's rolling out. He's safe. He's completing passes over the middle. He's getting rid of the ball early. And that is not what happened. It's like Anthony Richardson came out and the first thing he did was he threw a comical pick 6. And it's it wasn't really his fault. The receiver bounced it up in the air or whatever. But it's you know what? That doesn't happen to quarterbacks who are just competent and deliberate and on time. So I'm worried. I'm even worried about Helm. I'm worried about the whole Titans ecosystem.
Look, I think it obviously looked really bad. It looked really bad. But first ever game, first ever snaps in this new system. There's absolutely a learning curve here with Brian Daboll coming in. I'm not going to give up on him, but yeah, obviously not encouraging. That's the only way you can look at that, right? You would rather him do, not look terrible, not do the stupid falling back towards the goal line, flailing. I remember that first Will Levis game in 2024 against the Bears with the surrendered Cobra, all that kind of stuff. Cam had a lot of that last year too, with the fumbles and just not taking care of the football. That really needs to get taken care of. And if he can just dial that in, which I think is maybe a more learnable skill, then I think he'll be fine. But yeah, I mean, the entire, the Titans have been, guys that I'm taking a decent amount of with Helm and Ridley later specifically. I take a lot of Tate as well. That's more of a talent bet than anything else. I don't take a ton of Wandale, But I do get a little worried, like Ridley and Helm down late, just being like, these guys are just going to be like tertiary options on a shitty offense.
The domain guys told me that they have Wandale as a target, and I said, no chance. I mean, they're like, they're all Colts fans, and they're like, I can't believe you have Downs ranked that high, but I'm happy to take Downs there, and
I mean, it's such a best ball.
it is. And you know what? This is why you can get away with 0 running back teams this year, because we've got Hubbard, who is like still probably going to easily be back by week 1 there. Dobbins, Monungai, Mason, Gainwell, JCM. It honestly is like an elite year. I think we should take Dobbins, though.
Yeah.
We should take Dobbins. Now, what we're going to have to decide, this next pick is actually huge, because what we have to decide is, do we want to really commit to the bit and have a Daniel Jones, Bryce Young, Aaron Rodgers quarterback room, or do we want to take Mahomes or Stafford here and skip having a better 4th running back? Because we should be able to take JCM or Mason or Hubbard here, but none of those guys are going to be available coming back on the next pick.
I would rather go with the quarterback here, I think, if Mahomes is there. If he's not, then I think about, where's the Devontae team? That's also another. Devontae, okay, so Devontae team's in front of us. Stafford or one of the running backs. We'll see. This guy, I mean, I'll take Mahomes here pretty easily at 100. Yeah, I can't. I wouldn't want to push the quarterback. I think I'm more comfortable. Like, well, we can end up with 6 running backs on this team. Okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, Chuba's going to keep falling. I don't think I want to like touch him before pick 100, because I do think he keeps falling. Where do the Panthers play anytime soon? Because a Jonathan Brooks preseason game is what he needs to go from the 6-7 turn to the 5-6 to then the 4-5. Okay, yeah. So I mean, Saturday night. Oh my gosh, he plays tomorrow at noon. That's exactly when the draft starts. Jonathan Brooks, well, you know, it'd be hilarious if Jonathan Brooks got hurt. Or Jonathan Brooks tears his ACL for a 3rd time during the Flock League draft.
Gets drafted. Bush drafts him, and then he gets hurt.
I'm really glad you didn't say me and Danny, because yeah, I'm hoping to avoid that, honestly.
Listen, I will not be able to catch any football. Well, you'll see. Actually, from a middle schooler, if you think about it, a middle schooler is going to throw at like a very low miles per hour. Like, yeah, like 30 miles an hour. That's easy. That is not the issue. You know, it was as it got higher. Sammy is teammates with Danny. So Sammy's actually above me in the hierarchy. So you could say that I'm Sammy's plus. Well, I'm Jinxy's +1 is what is happening here, where I'm here as basically I'm the equivalent of like a medieval knight, like when kings would go send. Absolutely. Or like a court jester, like Jinxy. It does sound better, but basically I'm going out to go take the punishment for a king. Effectively is what's happening here, which you know, of all the way things could have gone, it wasn't that bad. You know what? I gotta say, this has been a popular opinion that the devs should be bummed. After hanging out with the devs, they're vibe. Their vibe. I can see why there was no appetite to kick the devs.
It's an interesting dynamic. We're gonna obviously see how this develops, because Jinxy being the league opens up a huge can of worms of like, he knows all these people who, if he has a good time, if he has fun and he wants to do it again, there would definitely be an appetite for some other people to join in. I don't know how that would go. But yeah, the devs are awesome, man, and they work so hard, and they're such a big part of what allows this to happen. Obviously, the Flock League started from blockfantasy.com, which they work so hard on. So yeah, they're great guys, and they deserve a shot here. Hey man, I mean, devs were 2 devs made the playoffs in year 1, and the devs were in the finals last year. Like they know what they're doing. They're adding a lot of value to the league. All right. Stafford comes back. Stafford, man. To me, like I feel. Yeah, and C-Rod, are you more inclined with Tuten on the team? Just trying to get all of the touchdowns from Jacksonville? Yeah,
it's more that I want to have one of those in PPF. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to be crazy about it, but I do think it's kind of interesting. So I haven't gotten any confirmation on what Igbuka's injury is. They said it's not severe, but man, I'll say this: if Igbuka has turf toe right now, he is the single most unclickable guy. I remember this would have been 2019 when Devontae Adams got turf toe and was out for 8 weeks, and he came back and he was still good. I remember because I traded for him in my home league, and I thought I really got one over on my buddy who was like super worried about it. And I was like, this guy doesn't know, dude. Turf toe is nothing. And it turns out turf toe very much is something. Yeah. I don't think this is a move I would do too often, but I think it's a cool move to do on one of every 10 Tuten teams or something like that.
Sure. I think also specifically on a Tuten 0 RB team. Because I mean, realistically, in the Big 2026, this is 0 RB. Like this is essentially as much as anybody is pushing it most of the time into round 5. I think that on this team, like when we kind of need floor at running back, having the entire Jags backfield is with that floor that you're looking for. So, it could seem like you're just handcuffing yourself, whatever. I think specifically on a 0 RB team, I find this more viable. If Tuten's my RB3, what the hell is Chris Rodriguez doing for me?
And if the Jaguars are really good, like I don't know. Let's go look at what the Jaguars rushing stats were last year. I bet they're like actually kind of good. Like I bet combined there were like a decent amount of rushing statistics to be had on the team. I mean, Trevor Lawrence ran for a bunch of touchdowns last year that I'm not anticipating. So you have 2-6. So as a team, they ran for 1,900 yards and 22 touchdowns. So let's say you get 1,700 yards and 18 touchdowns between your 5th round and your 12th round pick. That's pretty good. I mean, 5 rushing touchdowns for Tuten and 7 for ETN. If you get that exact same distribution, yeah, Tila's not going to score 9 rushing touchdowns.
No, he ran super hot on it as well. I think a lot of that can be spread out a little more, especially down the stretch down the end of the year. No, I'm really comfortable with it. I really like this team. I think this is great. We got Dynasty Flock in the chat.
Okay, try to call that tonight.
I think we do poker at the diner tonight on stream if you want to. Yeah, Davis has been trying to convince some folks to play poker and for Davis to take all their money.
I mean, we all know like we are now seeing when I'm overconfident about things how they work out. Although I will say this about me, it literally doesn't matter how many times in a row I lose. It really does. We could do whatever as a group, and I'll be like, I'm gonna win. I'm gonna be yeah. So it is what it is. Also, another thing I was thinking about, like in terms of like Mason keeping guys happy, got to keep the editors and the devs happy, dude. Like in terms of like things that allow Mason's life and business to continue to smooth, you gotta have those guys motivated.
I mean, yeah, people don't remember in the first year of the Flock League, all the devs had their own team. So like there wasn't a fan, there wasn't any of this other stuff. So each dev had their own team. There wasn't 2 editors. There was only 1 editor. So we've graduated a little bit. We're growing every year, and but you're absolutely right. I mean, they deserve it. Yeah, hype train, man. I think I'm fine taking him here. I think I still would take Travis Hunter or rank Travis Hunter ahead of him, but I'm going to be taking Travis. I don't think Travis Hunter is another guy that could rise if we see like first preseason game, if he gets any snaps, if it's like 70% on offense for whatever reason, that might not even, in my opinion, wouldn't even be super bullish because they could just be trying different stuff, right? There's no need to play him an insane amount on both sides of the ball in his first preseason game, but he would definitely rise. I'm taking so much of him right now. Like I just really want that to be a massive stand for me because I do think he could be like an insanely high advanced rate player, of course.
You think Hunter could be an insanely? I don't think that's the out. Do you want to take Dimes or I don't hate taking our last running back. Well, actually, we maybe take 6. You want to take Algier? Sure. Yeah. I thought also just like Arizona looked a little bit more competent on offense than maybe I anticipated last night. Just like, oh, okay, I see the plan here. I mean, we haven't even talked about Marv with the touchdown. We were also talking about that with Avery. Where they're because they're such draft capital slappies. They're like they've been big on Marv, and I'm like, the release on the touchdown was nice, but it was not he was getting his lunch eaten on that drive. So my daily average screen time right now is out of control. I mean, the most out of control it's ever been. But it's the drafting. Generally speaking, it's not really that bad. I actually, because I'm here and I am not with my wife and kid. I just, before I went to bed last night, I actually didn't have to do it on my phone. I cleared all my slow drafts on my computer. So it was so much easier.
So much easier. I do not. Every night and every morning, I'm always computer. I can't. I need the tool. I've become reliant on the tool, reliant on the team. I'm gonna miss it. It's so much harder when you have to make like 50 slow draft picks to every time go in and to have to manually in your head look at your stacks and be like, hey, who do I want to target? What's on the board? Whereas like the tool just lights it up right in front of you. You don't have to do any thinking.
It does. I realized this yesterday. So what we did yesterday was we did like we rented out like a big studio, like an actual like film photography studio. Well, not we. I didn't pay for it. Mason did. And it was like 30 of us there and everything, and there was a lot of downtime in between whatever. And so I was making a lot of slow draft picks, and I did realize I was like, I actually am so much worse at this when I do it on my phone versus when I have the computer. The computer does make it so much easier. So I think probably until I'm out of slow draft hell, I'm going to try and do more of them on my computer. I mean, obviously part of it is like you just do have to do some on your phone. If you're going to be in a billion of these, you do have to do some on your phone. It's true. I only caught 10 less balls than Terrence Ferguson last season. That is true. Primed to get into a cooler against Zuffa and tilt rebuy, only to get cooler against Rome. I tell you what, if I get coolered by Zuffa, I'm gonna be upset. Although this is obviously all of you probably know this, but people who like seem annoying on the camera, like Zuffa's just a normal ass dude. These guys are all very like. I would say the only one who really retains a larger than life persona at all times is Danny.
Yeah, 100%. Danny is exactly who you think he is. But I even said this to some people like, and this was like last year was my first experience meeting everybody. Everybody's just so nice, dude. Everybody's so nice. And then you don't expect anybody to be an asshole, but it is cool that a bunch of normal people. And yeah, and like Zuffa, obviously in his TikToks and stuff, he plays a character and all that kind of stuff. And the comments love it. The comments absolutely love it. They've been warming to him after seeing him take some damage in the video. Sure, yeah, I'm fine with Pat Bryant here. Getting some buzz, of course. I've been arguing with Bush the past few. Bush like loves Troy Franklin. Bush takes Troy Franklin all the time. He takes him in like the 16th round. He loves it. He's a big Troy Franklin guy.
This actually is true. Joe set this up. So this was actually the first thing that the dev team at Flock did was I think he thought that's how people drafted on the app. So he actually did set it up. So technically, if you want, you can do the Flock tool on Safari on your phone. I'm not gonna do that. It doesn't look as good. Yeah.
I'm not like recommending it to people, but look, we've talked about the people that we can't, conceive of their existence. There are people that, just don't have laptops.
Although we did, Sammy, you and I, we did notice this. Flock League content is pretty America B coded.
I did. I mentioned this today. I was like, this is the most, like, this is America B right here, bro. This is because we were filming TikToks yesterday, and it's like we're just like doing whatever we can, trying to get some stuff that goes viral or whatever. And I went up to Davis and I was like, this is like the most America B shit of all time. And then, you're going to be scrolling on your Instagram reels, Flock League TikTok, Young Sheldon TikTok. That's the algorithm, man. You gotta play into it.
It's true. All right. I think Jayden Blue is a smash here. I'm trying to be pretty reactive to August stuff. I actually have not looked at this. What do we think the Quant is gonna have for Pat Bryant? What's our guess? In Courtland Sutton. All right. The quantitative has. Oh my god. The Quant. First off, the Quant has Troy Franklin as not existing. He's got Pat Bryant for 28, 320, and 2. Does have Evan Ingram as draftable. I think my Quant is a little high on Sutton. And I think he's also a little high on the combination of Jonah Coleman, Tyler Beatty. I think 30 combined targets between those two guys would be a little surprising to me.
I think if Courtland Sutton has as many targets as Jalen Waddle, I might eat my hat.
I think I'm with you.
For 119, I think. Which there's just no way.
I've heard of this Yandex one. I believe Sacrilegious and Mike Dubner. I believe they figured out when Sack went on vacation last summer. I think they figured out how to get the sidekick to work in Yandex on his phone.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure ours is. Did you say it works on Safari? I thought it was only Chrome, and you just had to set it to browser instead of Mason. Mason did not win the Block League draft order competition. Shout out Sal. He was on. He obviously did win the draft order competition. Dude is a specimen, and yeah, I mean it really is the year of Sal.
Sal, okay. Sal is a specimen. Let me tell you guys something about Sal, and I realized it as soon as I met him. Sal is he's exactly the type of guy that has all of his t-shirts on a hanger. Sal shows up.
Sal does not own a dresser, bro. He does not own a dresser. There is no way. They're too crisp. There's no wrinkles ever.
No wrinkles ever. He shows up to the photo shoot. So I show up to the photo shoot. I have a Carhartt t-shirt and I have 2 jerseys that I put, and I just threw them in my book bag, right? I'm like, this is fine. Sal shows up, 4 different shirts. They're just like plain, like, whatever, just like solid color shirts, and they're all on a hanger. And I was like, yeah. Sal goes to the barber every 4 days, and he's got a haircut tomorrow. Yeah. I mean, absolutely classic.
What round are we in here? 17? 16? I mean, if you, I don't know. I'm not tight end. Yeah, sure. Let's do it. Would you take 3 here? I might take 3. We would have to go 6 wide receiver then, right? So then, yeah, no, 2 tight end gives us the 6 running back. I think that's fine. Sal goes, I'm not sure if that's an insult or a compliment. I think it is a compliment. He's put together. He's not, Sal would never. I mean, Danny forgot his shirts. Danny forgot his backpack on the way to the shoot yesterday, and we had a mini crash out. Sal would never. He's organized. He's put together shirts. I honestly, Sal, like I wish that I could do that. I don't have a closet that is capable of that at the moment, so I have to use a dresser. But Ted Hurst. We have Denzel Boston. Yeah, I'm fine with Ted Hurst there. We also have the Rams stuff, right? So they'll bring back their week 17. It's absolutely a compliment, though. I aspire one day to never have to fold a shirt again.
I have it's funny. I have the space. I was telling this to Sal and Rome in the car yesterday, but so I basically still have all my clothes from college. Started lifting weights, got a little bit bigger, had to buy bigger shirts, had to buy some bigger pants, right? Getting strong. Then I got fat. So I have 3 layers of clothing, and I just have a hard time getting rid of stuff. So I still have this is true. I'm obviously a small guy. Everyone who watched the video yesterday, I still have waist size 28 jeans sitting in my closet that I won't get rid of. I have small, size small t-shirts that I just I can't. This is a cool shirt. I wore this when I was 19. Why would I get rid of this? And it's you could. I don't think I'm ever going to fit in a size small shirt again, even as a little guy.
Well, maybe in 18 years, your son will want that shirt. And so you definitely can't get rid of it.
Well, I mean, that's actually a common experience. I see this all the time. You see a guy, you're like, dude, sick shirt, sick hat or whatever. And he's like, yeah, dude, my granddad moved into a nursing home. My granddad moved into a nursing home, and I got his Wisconsin hat from when he was in college, and it's yeah, shit is fire. All right, I don't even really remember what we're drafting right now. We have got Pat Mahomes, Matt Stafford. I don't think we need 3 quarterbacks. I think the Tool is going to agree. That's tight end. Tool agrees 2 tight end either way. Tool agrees slight boost to 3rd quarterback. 6 running back is correct. And drafted our wide receivers in a nice little range, 21%, 20% if we draft another one. It would be wrist up. It would be Jacoby actually. Yeah. Yeah, I actually think taking Jacoby round 18 is honestly fine. I mean, he looked pretty good. I think we know what we're gonna get. We looked, yeah. Although it seems like Minshew now has fully been passed by Beck because I think they just rested Beck last night instead of making him play. I think was the way I read. Or is he hurt?
I thought he got hurt with something. I don't know what it was, but I think there was a report that he got hurt. By the way, Jack Bash.
Bash looked pretty good. I had to remind Avery last night that he was a tight end who outproduced, what was it, Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas Jr., and Kayshon Boutte as a true freshman. All right, yeah, let's take Jacoby. I mean, it's a pure advance rate play that gives us Mahomes, Stafford, Brissett, Tuten, Warren, Dobbins, C-Rod, Algier, Jayden Blue, Puka Nacua, Rashi Rice, Luther Burden, Josh Downs, Denzel Boston, Pat Bryant, Ted Hurst, Bowers, and Farmer. That was actually one interesting note last night, was that the Steelers on over 50% of their plays had 2 or more tight ends on the field. So Jeremy looked good, but the third wide receiver only played 11 of the 19 first team snaps.
That is a little scary. I mean, maybe Arthur Smith never left. Who knows? That's a little. I've been a little lower on the Jeremy in the 180s type of thing, and now he's falling like a rock, dude. I mean, I haven't been able to catch the end of ADP chasing just yet. We've been so busy. But did he go on Tuesday in last call, Jeremy? Yeah. He must have. Yeah, he had to have. So because I saw him hit 200, and I'm like, wow, yeah, like I do think that's probably right though. I think there's too much with him being the wide receiver 3 on an offense that, it's whatever. The projection isn't phenomenal. I like Aaron Rodgers rookie just scares me. He's just all curmudgeon-y and old, and he wants things done the way that they're done. He's calling out his receivers for the freaking red line in press conferences. He doesn't. I just don't think he jives with these guys, man. He wants these vets. He wants Michael Pittman. He might even like Roman Wilson more than him. And if he likes Roman Wilson more than him, Roman Wilson's going to play.
Well, Roman Wilson is either hurt or didn't play with the group of guys from yesterday. Do you want to do another one? Okay. All right, let's do another one. I figured if I got this done early in the day, because what happened yesterday was I planned on firing up a stream when we got back. And this is how everything works when you're with a group of maybe more than 30 people. I haven't done a head count of everyone, but I was like, oh yeah, I'll do it when we get back. We didn't get done with the photo shoot stuff until 5 or 6, and then we got home, and I'm like, I'm cooked anyway. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna watch the games, and then my plan was I am gonna steal this bit from Mason for my redraft channel. I'm gonna steal the everything has changed bit. Okay, I was wrong, by the way. Roman Wilson did play. But instead of everything has changed, I'm gonna call it fantasy football just got flipped on its head, and then whatever week it is. It doesn't where that's why Mason is the king. That's why he's the best. All right, we're drafting at the 110. Still waiting for the website to import your drafts, and it gives you a grade only with a GIF. So the Flock tool doesn't do the GIF. What it does is it gives you a duck. And it does give you a letter grade, right? It gives you the letter grade, but then it also will give you the cartoon representation of a duck, which I think the GIF is better. We could I have some ideas and plans for next year. It's too late in the game to make big improvements to the best ball tool right now because the dev team is, well, first off, they're focusing on winning $100,000, but then also focusing on winning or having all the redraft stuff set up. All right, we're drafting at the 110. Are we double tapping running back?
I would go. I like getting CD or Jefferson at 10. I don't know. Like obviously, you said the Jordan Addison stuff isn't as, those fears aren't as bullish for Jefferson, of course. Yeah, man, I've been warming to the double RB starts at the back of the board. I do like the wide receivers, and of course Colston, Loveland available at the 3-4 turn. Like I'm to the point where I pull him up over like Garrett Wilson, Tyrell McMillan, in that range. So I I like the double RB start. There's so many guys there that you feel comfortable about. However, I do prefer staying balanced. CD or Jefferson. We'll see what falls to us here.
Well, we're not going to get Jefferson because he goes at 4 here. See, I think the 4 hole is great. We're actually talking about this because I lost. All right, we're on the clock. I mean, I think JT is a smash at 9. Yeah. So we've been talking about this a lot because I was unable to be a good champion for Jinxy, right? And so we're trying to figure out where he is going to draft. And I think we ultimately landed on, I think 7 is the worst spot because you get the worst pick in the second round. There's a chance you don't get any of the running backs in the second round, right? There's a chance that there's a chance that Henry, Achane, Chase Brown, Hampton, Walker, all those guys are gone. So then you're left with London, you're left with AJ Brown, you're left with Bowers. I'm going to guess no chance does Jinxie want to take Bowers in the second round.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I think Jinxie is going to be sort of very pilled on last season, probably. Pilled on historical, not trying to make any huge swings, any huge projections. Do think, though, sneakily, obviously, we know the order now. I do think Avery, who's picking near the end, could be happy with like a JT London start. And that's something you can guarantee yourself at the 107. So if he wants to be in the middle of the board, really likes JT, really likes Drake London, this would be, we're on the clock, Hampton? I'm fine with either. Chase Brown or Hampton is fine.
The main guys are super, super pilled on Chase Brown. Oh, this actually, I did want to talk about this. I actually don't care about this at all. The clip of Nicholas Singleton getting absolutely blown up in pass protection. I think that's whatever. I think the more important thing is, actually, I think if you wanted to be a big Nick Singleton bull, you could say, if the team is going to be this bad, there's just not going to be much room for Tony Pollard to be playing in November. I would actually say for every game the Titans lose, the likelihood of him being traded to another team with an in-season running back injury has to increase because he's not making a ton of money. He would be a pretty valuable trade chip. Like, shouldn't the Lions trade for him instead of James Conner?
I mean, most likely. I mean, we've talked about obviously the Brian Robinson rug pull of last year. Tony Pollard could be that guy very easily. And if not before the season starts, in season, I don't think they would do it before the season starts because I don't think Nick Singleton would have to have a really good camp, kind of like Bill did last year, for them to be comfortable with that. But in season, 100%, he could very well be a trade deadline play. Doesn't even necessarily have to be like an injury team, but maybe just like a team that's fighting for the playoffs that doesn't feel super comfortable about their running back situation. Could definitely 100% make that move.
I mean, one that I haven't even seen a ton of people speculate about would be the homecoming to Dallas. First off, Dallas loves that. Dallas absolutely loves to bring back guys who used to play for them. They are huge on that. And their backup running back right now, depending on who you believe, is Jayden Blue or Malik Davis. Malik Davis has been on the team forever, has done nothing. He did have like a 43-yard touch. I think he scored on Thanksgiving last year, if I remember right. I want to say he had a nice touchdown run in that game, but like he's been on the team forever. He's kind of nothing. They're saying a lot of kind things about Jayden Blue right now, but he could put those Louis Vuitton cleats on at any time. And Javonte is like, I mean, I think everyone would say Javonte is fine, but I could see that one. I actually could see Seattle being a team low key if Charbonnet's injury recovery gets like postponed or whatever. God, I know they're talking right now about Charbonnet not going on the PUP. That's so cap. There's no way that Charbonnet does not go on PUP.
And if he does miss PUP, then the peptide is just confirmed. Like there's no other explanation. There couldn't possibly.
All right, we're up. I think it's Flowers, Higgins, or Waddle. Yeah. Flowers is good, and I think there's a chance. I think there would be Pollard to the Vikings.
Dude, I mean, if I like Jordan Mason as a target this year in redraft as a later round running back. But yeah, especially if Aaron Jones isn't giving them anything, or if Aaron Jones gets hurt again and they don't really like him on Claiborne, 100%, if they're a playoff team, Pollard to the Vikings could make all the sense in the world. And, Kevin O'Connell does that a lot. He traded for Cam Akers like 4 times. So he's willing to make those moves to improve his backfield. Garrett Wilson? Yeah. I would have liked Waddle instead, but obviously he's steamed up like crazy. Broncos. Oh my gosh.
I don't think first off, I don't think Saleh has like that much control. I'd be surprised if he had that much control about getting rid of or keeping Pollard. I don't know. That whole organization seems like they don't have that much figured out. But I would anticipate. I mean, Ridley is a trade candidate as well. I think Ridley is a huge trade candidate depending on how Io Manor and DK play. Like if it's a situation where Calvin Ridley is just actively sucking every week and you've got Io Manor, DK, Tate, and Wandale and Helm who are all like basically doing their jobs. I think Ridley makes a ton of money, so it's probably hard to get rid of him. Do you take Calvin Ridley at the end still?
I do still take Ridley. I think he is, and I think regardless of a trade, I think that he's a decent pick because, even if the Titans are like mid, like this is not going to be a playoff team. Like there's no way. Cam Ward would have to have an insane season. It's not going to be a playoff team. So if we're 4 and whatever, if we're 4 and 6, if we're 4 and 7, you're getting to the trade deadline, and you want to move off of these guys. As a Titans fan, I would want to get as much draft capital as possible for these expiring contracts. So I 100% think that he could get moved, make room for the younger guys. Because now like DK is like wide receiver 5, and he looked good last year. Like
he set the rookie record for like cumulative yards last year. Now it's totally fake because it was because of kick returns, but yeah. So Ridley, obviously, it's funny. Ridley's actually become more attractive because if you look at wide receiver ADP right now, look at the rises. You've got Mitchell up to 170. You've got Wicks to 171. You've got Tank Dell to 179. Zachariah Branch to 179. Jacoby Lane 180. Pat Bryant 182. Cyrus Allen 184. So now you get past the pure hopium guys. Judy, Ridley, Booty, Bateman. These guys are all like 70% route shares, like guaranteed. I mean, this is, of course, you want to be reactive to things in August, and it doesn't sound like things have been going particularly good for Judy, but Ridley was like the clear number 1 starting wide receiver for the Titans last night and I think teams are treating the preseason week 1. If their starters are playing, they're treating it like for real. I don't think they're like messing around.
No, I completely agree with you. And that's where we get these little indicators, right? And I think that the fact that he's healthy, right, coming off of the injury last season, that's a big deal. Like able to play preseason week 1, like I think that's big for Ridley, and he's just getting completely forgotten. This was a guy going in the 6th round last year, and it went terribly. But if Cam Ward is doing better, then yeah, let's see what does I mean Mike Clay probably loves Calvin Ridley. 700 yards, 46 for 722 and 4. Yeah, I mean that's a phenomenal pick in the 19th or in the 17th round, right?
Particularly because also from the right side of the board, you were doing these super running back heavy teams. All right, now we have a big decision here. Do we take Lamar or do we try and push it and get lucky and push him around? Because I've been seeing this happen. What do you think? I want to take Parker. No, come on, dude. We're taking Lamar. That if you're taking Parker Washington or Trevion Henderson, I'm trying to not bag defend Trevion Henderson right now because I think what's going to happen is my last like 20 BBMs, I think he's going to be a mid 6th round guy.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see. But he's such a preseason big play guy, though. Like this was all the steam last year. So like, yeah, the kick return exactly. And Ramondre could start, and people won't even care. People will see that he is going to start, of course. People will see a big play from Trevion, and then he's not going to. I don't think he falls, honestly. I know like a lot of people have been talking about how that is something that like should happen. I just think like, especially given that now we're at the preseason and we're going to see the big plays. I don't see him being a mid. Like obviously he's falling two drafts in a row. He's available at 62, and he goes at 62. Sure, yeah.
That was actually a very good turn right there. I think we executed that right there. Like the 2v2 of like Parker, I guess it's a 1v1 of P-Wash but now we also only had Garrett Wilson, so our second quarterback that we had set up was not very good. And now we can take a wide receiver in the window if we want. We can take like Golden or whatever. I actually think this is a good question to ask. If there's an injury to Worthy or Rice, who do you want, Allen or Thornton? I think Thornton is in his role regardless. I think regardless of the other wide receivers around him, I don't think his like ADOT or like the position he plays in the offense changes, which is why I think if the Cyrus Allen breakout happens, my hot take is that it's actually also not Worthy who suffers. I think Cyrus Allen breaking out is bad for Rice because Rice has the wonky knee. They haven't paid him yet. They've not extended him. And the beat writer conversation, I don't think they're super accurate, but Allen breaking out, I think, can make them less reliant on Rice, who they're saying by not paying him, they don't want to rely on Rice.
Yeah, that's kind of been my concern. And I think I've heard a little bit of this, how there's a potential that they don't want to design their entire offense and just scam yardage into Rice if they're not wanting him to be a part of their team long term. But also, like, when you're in season, I feel like Andy Reid is not thinking about this. He's just thinking about what's the best way to win games. And if the best way to win games is to feed Rashi in the same ways that he's been fed the past few years, then that's probably what they're going to do. I have trouble with the Cyrus Allen thing, man. Like, I just think that a couple good plays in training camp, we've seen this so many times. It's difficult for me to, is he even in the model? Oh, we're on running back. Let's see. He's got to be in the model. No, he's not a good prospect. So, it's tough, man. 8% career first downs for a run. Good RAS. Breakout age, not great. Yeah, so he's just he's a very whatever prospect at a smaller school. Okay, so we're back on the clock here. Downs goes. Kraft's supposed to be ready week 1. I don't mind stopping the Lemon fall here. Are you worried about the injury? Sure, that's fine. Yeah.
The Lemon thing for me is actually, I'm not actually really not all that worried about him. It's that I think I can tell the tenor of the conversation, and that for the next 2 weeks, he's just going to fall. Like, ETR moved him down. Leg Up has had him buried on Underdog for a while. I think that Lemon is headed to the Michael Wilson, Xavier Worthy, Golden, Diggs range of drafts, where I will be, because I bet they'll do one more puppy. My guess is about 2 weeks before the season, they will launch a puppy 4, and that is going to be the time to start to slurp your Dipperinos on Trevion Henderson, on Mekhi Lemon, on, there's going to be other random fallers. I think, sadly, the time to draft Jeremiah Love in the 3rd round, I think it's like legit. I think it's legit over. Yeah. And now I think we take. Actually, don't hate taking Michael Wilson here. Yeah. No, let's take Addison. Although I have noticed, just anecdotally, I have a bunch of Minnesota, Baltimore stuff because it all happens on this right side of the board. Yeah, which I don't love. But I don't know. Do you think Zay Flowers is a good 3rd round pick? Because he's been a 4th round pick for like most of the summer.
I think he's a perfectly fine 3rd round pick because I think he could very easily do what he did last year again. And with the contract especially, like, I think what he did last year, you're not going to be like super upset with that at the 3-4 turn, even if the touchdowns don't go up. And I think that there is a world in which we see this all the time with running backs where James Cook last year gets the big payday, they add 100 carries to him. What if the Zay Flowers thing is like, hey, we're giving you this contract, we need you to start scoring 6. We can't just have this between the 20 stuff. We need you to start getting in the end zone. Obviously, the additions of Jacoby Lane and Elijah Surratt, both guys who do excel in the red zone, wasn't something that I was super like bullish on for Zay Flowers in terms of that like role specifically. That's what you need. You need the high touchdown variance.
That's a good. There's a good heart of hearts there. Heart of hearts. Who scores more touchdowns this upcoming year? Jacoby Lane or Zay Flowers? Okay. If you're watching this on replay, this is your prompt for today. You're watching this as the bod. Who scores more touchdowns this year? Jacoby Lane, who has now moved up to be a 16th round pick. Literally something I would have never imagined. As I was taking Jacoby Lane in the 20th round on DraftKings, like no one else is ever going to take this guy. Who scores more touchdowns? Zay Flowers or Jacoby Lane? I'm going to guess everyone in the comments is saying Jacoby Lane. The comments are going to be 90-10. Jacoby Lane scores more touchdowns than Zay Flowers.
Honestly, I don't mind how this has gone in terms of the ADP stuff because I was taking a lot of Elijah Surratt in the 18th round, and now Jacoby Lane has risen, and I'm just taking a lot of Jacoby Lane. I'm fine doing it in the 16th. I do wish I would have mixed it up a little more. I just preferred Stroud as a prospect. But literally Lane, like that is what he's good at. Like this is not a separator, right? This is not an elite route runner. He is good at that jump ball stuff. He's good in his contested catch rate wasn't incredible. Especially considering his contested target rate. Quarterbacks are falling here a little bit, which I've seen a bunch of recently. Obviously, the Texas boys got to be in the queue. We drove.
Which Texas boy?
Give me Golden right now. I think we drove by UT coming back from some pickup basketball the other night. Mason was taking us by, and it's pretty cool to drive the same road that Matthew Golden has driven so many times.
We were driving through the University of Texas Austin campus, and all I could think was, how many times has Adonai Mitchell, Matthew Golden, Xavier Worthy, Gunnar Helm, Jonathan Brooks, how many times have these exact guys, Jayden Blue, how many times have these extremely failed NFL draft prospects come around this exact road? The Golden stuff is so bullish, and no one is going to believe it until the regular season starts. I think even people like me who like drafting him are not going to buy it, but it's so bullish that every step of the way they have gotten obstacles out of the way for him. Like I think they just think he is going to be good. I think we should skip the quarterbacks here because they're all still available. We have Lamar. I think that we should take one of these running. I think Gainwell. And be Gainwell or Kyler, I think. Yeah, I think you're right. I think we just do Gainwell. We're a little bit. I don't love. I don't love Kenny Gainwell. I think he's. Training
camp that they're excited about his role in the offense and that they're not worried about the injury at all. But Gainwell can easily still have the contingent value. Like Sean Tucker is. He'll get some goal line stuff if Bucky goes down, but I do think Gainwell showed that he can be a lead if he needs to be, if Bucky were to go down.
And Bucky is a smaller guy with a 3 RAS. You know what is actually sick? I thought there was a chance that we were going to have to do shared rooms or shared beds because I was the last one in. I got in late. I got in at midnight on Tuesday night, and first off, I didn't even know if I was going to be able to get in the Airbnb because everyone was mostly asleep. But I opened the door up to my room. I go put my stuff in there. It's a bunk bed. So I was like, oh, shit, does Mason have me sharing a fucking bunk with someone? But turns out it's okay. Turns out everyone is able to have it's actually a very nice Airbnb. So shout out to Flock Industries. I mean, shout out to I guess all the people watching me unable to catch a Jugs machine, because that is why all of this is allowed. This video's got to be a banger for Mason to feel that it was a good decision.
I mean, the video's doing incredible, by the way. It's popping off. This video was awesome, way better than last year's, I think. I do feel like you and I, and this was kind of my fault, I sort of just picked the first room I saw. So Davis and I are in opposite Airbnbs, but we're in the exact same room because the Airbnb is just mirrored. The bed is fine. It's a little weird. It's a little uncomfortable. And I'm looking up here. I'm getting freaking room mobbed, dude. There's some rooms up here that bed looks fun. That bed looks really comfy, dude.
Here's the thing. When I go on a trip like this, to me, this is this is a work trip. I'm not trying to go sightseeing or whatever. Although someone did comment on my last video that apparently on the campus they have fossilized dinosaur tracks highlighted. So there's an area you go on the campus where there are fossilized dinosaur tracks. So I wouldn't hate seeing that. That would be cool. But I'm fine with my room. All I've done in my room is I read a little bit before bed, and I finished all my draft picks. I'm trying to feel if my bed's too comfortable. Also, you don't want to get in the habit of sleeping in on vacation. That's dude, I'm at, if I was sleeping in until 8:30, my whole shit would be ruined. I can't get that part of my schedule happening.
Yeah, you cannot possibly. I mean, maybe it's the FOMO for me. I don't know what it is exactly, but I talked to my girlfriend about this. She was like, "Oh, how'd you sleep?" And I was like, "Bad," but that's what's expected here. I'm not expecting to wake up feeling fully rested. I'm trying to max. Oh my god, phenomenal value. I'm trying to maximize as much things I can do. We're having a good time seeing people that we're only seeing once a year. So I do not want to be spending more than 6 hours sleeping, even though I probably would like more than that.
I tapped out on going to the bar last night, though. I tapped out on going to the bar. I mean, I think as anticipated, they. All right, do you want to take Andrews for the double here? Yeah. They were all going to some bowling pin bowling, whatever. Which is all good. I'm glad I thought about going because I did the night before, not last night, but the night before. Everyone was going to go play basketball, and I was like, I'm so tired. But again, first off, I haven't played pickup basketball in forever, and two, like, you are like it is a work trip, but it's also like these are like my coworkers type shit. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go play basketball, and I was glad I did. But when I woke up yesterday morning to go lift with Nick and Andrew, I I was feeling it, dude. I was like, my alarm went off at 6:30, and I was just like, shit, man, this is early.
Yeah, dude, the pickup basketball was not a good idea for me. I'm falling apart at the seams. Knee stuff. I jammed a finger. I can't believe I can't believe I'm saying that I'm too old for this shit. I am a child, and I'm too, and I am my body is too old for pickup basketball. I've learned. So none of that for me anymore at this trip. But we did great, dude. Pins Mechanical is what it was called last night in Austin. This place was sick. Bowling, really good beer, food. There was skee ball. There like this big arcade too, all in one place. It was really, really cool. We did have a great time. By the way, Meatball was asking where the video is posted. It's on the Flock League channel. The Flock League.
Who has the worst bruising? I didn't realize I have one. I've got a pretty good. Can't really see. I got a pretty big shiner on my arm, but Danny has it's bad. Like Danny must have gotten smoked by one at 55 or 60 miles an hour. I think mine was 55, which doesn't feel good, but I don't know what he did. He did something really wrong because it almost looks like a shark bite or something on his arm. It's really bad. It's really not ideal. And a couple guys took hard ones to the chest. Like Nathan took one to the chest that I was like, he's gonna feel that for like weeks.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Danny's freaking bicep is just like purple, absolutely purple, dude. So yeah, man, it was wild. It was wild. I don't think we'd do that again. I don't think that's something we would do again. We might try and make it a little less potential for injury in future years. But we're back on the clock. What do we need here? 2-4-4-2. Probably a wide receiver. Trey Harris or Coop. Oh, we did the Garrett Wilson thing. I'm good with Trey Harris here.
I'm out. I'm out on Omar Cooper Jr. I'm done. I'm out. I'm done. Yeah, it's over. It's over. If you say the name Isaiah Williams to me, I don't even care. Like, I understand, but it's like, do you remember? Yeah. This is exactly what Avery was saying to me. He's like, "Is there anything that you don't fall for?" And I was like, "No, or there really isn't." We should take Marshawn Lloyd. Yeah. Marshawn Lloyd, if you guys don't know, Marshawn Lloyd is like legit heading to like round 10, like very soon. He looked awesome.
And he will be an atrocious pick in round 10 when he gets there. He will be so bad. I do think like there's so many outcomes here where Jacobs is just fine. There's no suspension. He's fine from the injury. He gets back, and he's scoring like 18 points per game like he did through 10 weeks last year. After the injury last year, it really fell off a cliff. The splits before and after he got hurt are absolutely nuts. He was like a top 5 running back in points per game up until that point. I do still think that this is the Sal, famously, who was in the stream earlier. He is a Packers fan, and he was saying he's so confident that they're going to throw the ball like crazy this year. And I don't know, man. Like, but Matt LaFleur's saying he wants to like put the ball in Jordan Love's hands more. That could be like, clutch situations, late game stuff. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a volume thing more than like a situational thing. You know what I mean? So I do still think with the combination of like they're really concentrating the receiver room, I do still think this is an offense that wants to run first. And that's what makes Marshawn Lloyd a really good pick here. It's why I think Josh Jacobs is a good pick in the 4th round. If you take up the suspension risk and that kind of stuff. But yeah, once he gets to the 10th, the injury prone stuff, just the pure handcuff stuff. Do you think there's a world in which he has a role if Jacobs is fully healthy?
I mean, I think we'll have a a little bit of a role. Like not like I don't think it'll be anything more than like what Emmanuel Wilson had last year, but it'll be there'll be a little bit of a role. I agree. It's always been Adonai Mitchell over Cooper Cox. This is my boy Dylan, who I work out with every day, who played college football. He knows I can't catch a football. He's aware. He knows that was not the ideal challenge for me. That's why I immediately after realizing that I wasn't going to be good at it, I started proposing we should do golf stuff next year. I said we should do closest to the pin on a par 3. If no one wants to do that, we should do mini golf. Those were my immediate suggestions, neither of which were taken in. We should take a wide receiver. We should take Jacoby Lane.
Would be good, like reaction stuff. You're always thinking about the content and how the viewer is going to see it. I do think mini golf could be interesting. I also think keeping it football makes a lot of sense. They did knockout in year 1. I don't think a ton of thought went into that. It was just like, how can we quickly decide this? Last year we did punt, pass, kick, and then now this year the catching footballs. We'll have to see. I thought it could be fun to try and like catch punts off of the Jugs machine. Would have been way less, room for injury. Want to go Dulcich? Sure. Way less chance of injury if you're catching a punt as opposed to a 60 mile per hour. But if it's falling down, dude, and you're just coming under, that would be way that nobody would get bruised the way that they did with the 60 miles an hour. Well, just don't do that though. Just don't get smoked in the dome. Put some sunglasses on.
Here's a good one. We actually set it up to be a punt return, flag football style.
Can't do anything running.
No, listen. Flag football style. Everyone, like the rest of the league, is the defense, and you have to try and score. Flag football style. We go. I mean, we're in Texas, so obviously there's insane football stadiums everywhere. We could go. I bet Mason has the cachet. Like he could get a punter. Like Mason could contact like Texas Tech punter or something and get them to come out and do it.
That would be very cool. I don't think you could get people on board with the like running down the field, trying to not tackle, but trying to get the flag. Specifically me. I mean, maybe next year I'll be fine probably to run, but that would be tough. I think anything that gives a significant physical advantage, people won't want to do. And I think that would, be, once there's a significant athletic advantage, people will kind of turn off of that thing.
Yeah, Mason's like, yeah, we should run. Yeah.
Mason's straight line run.
Yeah, Mason would smoke. Yeah, after playing basketball with Mason, I agree. He's not very shifty.
The coordination is off.
Yeah. You want to take Ridley? All right, let's see where the tool has us. What should we do for our last position? Another wide receiver. 8 wide receiver. Kraft, Andrews, Dulcich. Wide receivers, Zay Flowers, Garrett Wilson, Jordan Addison, Matthew Golden, Trey Harris, Jacoby Lane, Calvin Ridley. Running backs, JT, Chase Brown, Price, Gainwell, Lloyd. It's a very good room. I mean, yes. Yeah, I think taking Bateman is fine. I think if you take Bateman and Lane together, you're kind of giving you're getting like whoever scores the 7 touchdowns in that role, you should theoretically get them together.
We need a Declan Doyle masterclass. He is the new Liam Cohen. He is the new Ben Johnson. And this team does very, very well because Zay, Andrews, Lane, Bateman. I think it works. Well, the BBM winner in 2024 had all of the Bengals, literally all of them. So there's a world in which it works, and then we don't need the Kyler Addison stuff like so much. That's fun. This is a fun team.
And I think doubling. Yeah, I agree with this. I think doubling down on 2 guys who basically play the same position. Like we did it in the last draft. We took Tuten and C-Rod here. I want you to recap the team. I'm going to go downstairs and see if anyone wants to hop on.
All right, we're going to recap the team here. So we started, oh my gosh, Davis's scroll is the opposite of mine. This is weird. Okay, so Lamar and Kyler at quarterback. We went JT Chase Brown at the 1-2 turn, then added on Jadarian Price, Kenny Gainwell, Marshawn Lloyd at 5, Zay Flowers, Garrett Wilson, Jordan Addison, Matthew Golden, Trey Harris, Jacoby Lane, Calvin Ridley, and Rashad Bateman as our 8 wide receivers, and then 3 tight ends, Tucker Kraft, Mark Andrews, and Greg Dulcich. I like this team. This is fun. This is a lot of fun. I think we did well doing this out of the. Do we get Mr. Flock himself? Wow, Mr. Flock himself coming on the stream. Turn it around, bro. What are you doing? We need to see the nameplate on that thing.
Yeah, we're done. Mason has to get in his Jinxy approved gear. We were watching Jinxy's stream to see if he mentioned us the other day, and we realized that he was wearing the jersey backward, and we realized that's where Mason got it from. He thinks that Jinxy got it from him, but actually that is what we're saying. All right, we're gonna go do a big dog. So if you guys want to hop in and come and fill this, bang, 20 seconds per pick. There we go. How many? I'm probably gonna have to send a tweet. How was Pins Mechanical last night? I didn't pack my mic stand. I realized once I got to the airport.
I never pack my mic stand when I travel because it's not worth it. I did not go to Pins Mechanical because I had a live stream. But I want it on the record, okay? I did the backwards jersey thing first. You are going to see it everywhere now, but I was first.
I don't know. I because that would imply. Well, you know what? This is actually true. Jinxy says that he learned it. Jinxy says that the only fantasy football channel that he follows is Mason. He brought it up on stream, so maybe it's definitely possible that he did get it from Mason. I'm pressing X to doubt on it, but we'll see. I mean, how tired were you? Did you stream last night? Everything has changed. Did you do changing your preseason rankings?
I did. Football is here. That was
football is here. So I've decided I'm gonna steal your bit, but I'm gonna do, instead of calling it everything has changed, I'm gonna do fantasy football has been flipped on its head, and then I'm gonna put whatever the week is in the brackets. I was gonna do it last night, but I was too tired.
Do it, but for the week ahead. So week 1 just concluded, but fantasy football just got flipped on its head week 2 because it's a week 2 video people are gonna watch.
Okay, all right, that's it's a good idea. Mason did stream last night. There's been a lot of streaming. Land has been streaming. Actually, this is very funny. I sent a text to one of my buddies, like in real life, of our setup that we had yesterday. Didn't recognize you. Didn't recognize Domain. Didn't recognize the FSE guys. The guy he called out immediately he recognized Zach. He was like, dude, is that Fantasyland right there? And I was like, yeah, dude, that's because you recognize the bald head. I mean, the bald head is very recognizable. All right, guys, put out the bat signal so that we can fill this big dog right now. I think this will be my third big dog. I hope I've got some winners in there somewhere. I know we took Jacoby Lane when we did the Mastiff. So my when you check the exposure tab on the Flock site, it's starting to get overweight a little bit there. How are your hands feeling? How are your hands feeling today?
No problems at all. I will put for the record, maybe I was a loser. I definitely did not win, but everybody here crying that their body is broken after 10 minutes of basketball, not full court, half court, okay, and us catching about 10 footballs, y'all have serious problems.
I got up and worked out the next morning. I went to the gym with Nick, the dev, and Andrew. The basketball, I actually I got to say this. You guys know I don't do cardio like Mason does. But the basketball was not that hard for me. I thought it was fun. I mean, we played half court. How hard can half court basketball? Mason's such a sweat. He wanted to play full court so he could just run through everyone, and he was literally the only person who wanted to play full court.
I want, for the record, Davis did lead the game in rebounds. I was a team cap. I picked Davis. I was thinking we were going to get some shiftiness, but I swear to God, you probably true or false?
I surely led in rebounds because, of course, everyone knows this. Easiest way to be good at pickup basketball, if you're playing with a bunch of other people who are unathletic, is to try. I mean, it's the most obvious thing, but if you're going to try, we did have the advantage. One of the devs is 6'7", and he was on our team, which did make it so that basically at any point you could generate a pass without a turnover because you could just pass it to the 6'7". I mean, Avery's tall, but he's not as tall as Nick is. But he also did the gentle giant thing of like, well, I could score every time if I wanted. Like he did, like it was like, okay, we could have him score at any given time. So, but yes, I was a real Charles Barkley. I mean, I could compare my game to Russell Westbrook because I can't shoot. But the basketball was fine. We got to drive by the UT Austin campus. Someone in my comments told me that there are fossilized dinosaur tracks on campus. Is that true?
I have walked all around campus for years and years and years. Never seen it.
Never seen it. All right, Mason. We're locked in. We are drafting. We're drafting at the 1.7. So this will actually be good practice because this is probably where Jinxy is going to draft from. And our rankings are very similar because we both basically generate them in the exact same way because we base it off of. This is actually such a hack. People don't know this about the Flock Fantasy website. I get these comments all the time like, oh, the thing I used to do in my home league was I would just print off the underdog ADP because it's so much sharper. You can actually just do that if you're a Flock Fantasy subscriber. You can just filter the ADP down to underdog and then put it into your league settings and basically have your cheat sheet done that easy.
Did you know that they can actually make their own rankings on the site?
Yeah, because what you have to do is you have to go to the cheat sheet page and then you move them around, right? Or is there actually a whole tab to do it?
On rankings, you won't see it because obviously you're a creator, but for regular users that have like season pass or basketball tools, whatever, at the top, it says create rankings. And if they click it, they can hit import from Davis Maddock. They can pull your rankings into it and then adjust from there. So if they go, hey, Davis is way too high on Adonai Mitchell, they can move them down, or hey, Davis is way too low on Derrick Henry, they can move them up. But they can create their own rankings and they can use it in the tools.
All right, well, there you go. We got a stacked room here. Budzilla, FSE is in. Kaiser Hog, who I don't know. Giant Sandwich. Hot Sauce, who I do know. Bird Jame, who I do know. Nez, Shady Advice, our guy Danny Ladd, J-Mac, and TJ or TJ, who I legitimately think I've probably known TJ for 15 years at this point. I'm very surprised he's drafting a best ball team in the middle of the day. He must have gotten bored of like laying out in the sun, being retired in San Diego. We are at 7, which means we are going to get St. Brown. So if Jinxy is watching this, what would you tell him about building a team drafting out of the 7 slot if you start with St. Brown? Ooh.
I literally have no idea. I think this is the toughest place to pick on the board, and I wanted to know what you thought. Because how would you treat it differently between best ball and redraft? Because I actually thought, by the way, for the longest time, on best ball drafts, I really like picks 3, 4, and 5. But now for the redraft stuff, when I'm doing mock drafts or redraft, I'm like, these picks are surprisingly bad. Just because if you go like Puka round 1, you get completely boxed out of running back. So, like, what is the difference in best ball, do you think, versus managed redraft with how you were attacking those middle picks?
I actually think the biggest difference between best ball and managed redraft is someone is going to fuck up in redraft. So I think someone in redraft is going to pull London up. They're going to pull AJ Brown up. They're going to pull Derrick Henry up. They're going to do something that means that you have an opportunity to take Hampton. You have an opportunity to take Walker. You have an opportunity to take Chase Brown. Obviously, the nightmare scenario is that it falls exactly by underdog ADP, and you're the one who has to decide between London, Bowers, AJ Brown, all those guys. Like that is like worst case scenario, and that's the scenario I don't want to be in with Jinxy, because what I don't want as nightmare scenario for me with him drafting is having to start wide receiver. I think there's like basically no way to navigate it, because I don't think he'll want to take Breece Hall, because I think he'll be like, dude, the Jets stink. We're not taking Breece Hall. And then we're looking at our running back 1, not in this league, probably because Javonte will go. Like, who's our running back 1's going to be David Montgomery? Like, I don't want that at all.
If he has a garbage team that you helped him draft, I'm going to be so pissed at you. I'll never let you live it down.
Well, it's really not ideal. So I'm going to have to be as locked in. I mean, really what I need to have happen is I do need one of these other guys to actively like be making a mistake. I need like the devs or the editors to not be paying attention and to be making a mistake. Or the other thing that happens is ADP kind of gets tossed out in these drafts and someone else's opinion just has to be wrong. I think Hampton is a smash here. Yeah. if we get if Jinxie and I get this start, if we get CMC Hampton, I think I'm already like renting a Brinks truck.
So let me tell you about the league and like, because I obviously know the tendencies of these guys. The developers are good. They legit just use the rankings and the tools on the site. So like they're not making any garbage picks. They're not going and making any hot takes. The editors are pretty damn good as well. The only guys that are stone cold, like we have no idea what they're going to do, will be Jinxy, which hopefully if he tries to go completely off the rails, you can bring him back in. Then Rome, which based on what Rome and Zuffa have said, they may be horrible. Like they may be the only people that are
Rome didn't know who Jaylen Warren was yesterday. I think he knew who Jaylen Warren was, but he was mystified that he was like a consensus like top option in fantasy football. He was like, people are like, because we were doing it for a TikTok game, and he was like, people are not going to know who that is.
Yeah, so I think I don't know. It's going to be tough. Like, I think you're going to get boxed out in a league that people know what they're doing. There's no way you get Hampton, no way you get Achan here. 0% chance. Yeah, Hampton and Achan are both gone at the beginning of the second. The running backs that I think you may get to choose from where we took Hampton would be Walker and Henry.
All right, we're up. I'm fine. Any of these wide receivers are fine by me.
You're $500. You win this, you get the $200K. It's up to you.
All right, we're gonna go. I'm just gonna do Flowers. I got scared. That was a bright lights moment for me right there. I actually wanted to take Javonte Williams there, but I actually am probably targeting his backup a little bit later. There, forgot it. Sure. Forgot his first name. Yeah, we'll see about that.
Well, look, he said he forgot his first name was Jayden. He was talking about Jaylen Warren. Brother, you still don't have it. We tried teaching, and you still don't know.
It's true. I mean, we'll see. I don't think there's actually any good luck to be had today. The only person you guys need to be wishing good luck to would be Danny, who has to go do the Denny's punishment. Which is the kitchen so like? Am I going to be able to get waffles from them, or is it only pancakes?
I'm going to assume that their kitchen's closed. With it being closed, and we're gonna have to Uber Eats. We're gonna send the assistants to get stuff. But real quick, I was watching the stream on the way over here, and I saw you saying that Marshawn Lloyd was going to be a 10th round pick in a couple of weeks. So what the hell's going on with Jacobs? Because Jacobs here goes at the 312 and says nothing's happening.
So Schefter said 3 days ago that his legal situation is still not resolved. Like it's still up in the air. No one knows yet. Like it's still an open thing. And he has a groin injury that he has not been able to practice with. Lloyd took all the snaps with the starters yesterday for preseason week 1. And this is just the time of year people are ready to buy. Like people are just like, Jacoby Lane, sure, 15th round pick. Why not? Like people are whatever they're starting to see. They're the pent up demand to draft has been so great. They can't help themselves.
Yeah, I've been completely checked out since we've been so busy here. I need to really sit down for a couple hours and see what's happened. That's why I wanted to ask you a few questions about this stuff.
Well, you can ask away. We're about to get Mason's favorite thing, which is we're about to get an ADP dip. There's nothing that Mason likes more than getting a guy like 4 spots past ADP. That is that's as good as a fantasy football draft can get. And frankly, Garrett Wilson in the middle of the 4th round is actually crazy. This is almost the exact same team that Sammy and I just drafted. We just did Jonathan Taylor and some other bum running back and Zay Flowers and Garrett Wilson, but we didn't have CMC or Hampton on that team. So this is way better. I actually think Garrett Wilson is an awesome pick.
So just to circle back, 1st round decision, because I think the first 3 rounds in your redraft league are just so damn important, figuring out positionally what you're doing. 12-team PPR double flex where people know what they're doing. You're not getting Achan, you're not getting Hampton, you're not getting Chase Brown in the middle of the late second. You have pick 6. Are you taking St. Brown? Are you just playing it safe and going with one of the running backs, McCaffrey and Taylor? And then in the second, giving yourself the ability to go AJ Brown, London.
I think you take McCaffrey in that spot every time because your 2nd round pick is going to project so much worse. The way that you win is McCaffrey is just Christian McCaffrey. If you get CMC from last year, 24 points per game, McCaffrey's been the number 1 running back every year he's ever finished the season. That's how you win. You just say, I drafted Christian McCaffrey. Everyone else was scared. And you just smash Christian McCaffrey and you say, hey, if he stays healthy, it doesn't matter what these jabronis against me are going to do because I have Christian McCaffrey.
And also, I was watching you do a redraft managed league, and I saw Allen go in like the late 4th, early 5th. He's not making it that far in our league. Like, where do you think these elite quarterbacks should be going in managed redraft?
I gotta make this. You know what? I'm okay.
No.
We'll take Lamar. I had to give Mason a heart attack there and show him Parker Washington in the middle of the 5th round. I think that Josh Allen in redraft is almost the worst pick on the board. And I think that Lamar is almost the best pick on the board because Josh Allen will go right about there, late 4th. We did a high stakes draft yesterday and we got Lamar Jackson at the 4th pick in the 7th round. Josh Allen went in the 5th. We got Lamar Jackson. Like, I think Lamar might have went after Jonathan Brooks. I'm pretty sure he did.
That is unbelievable. Like, are there like Stafford sitting out there on the waiver wire in that league? Is that why that would happen? Like,
no, guys draft 2 quarterbacks in those formats most of the time.
Okay, well, I think Lamar is an absolute smash. Like, I think I would expect our draft, it's going to be 6-point passing touchdown. I would expect Allen to be going 3-4 turn, Lamar middle of the 5th, the rest of the quarterbacks in the 6th. Very similar to like what you would see in an underdog draft. Like, I'm expecting that to be the case.
I would say, based on what I expect to happen in our draft from where Jinxy and I are likely to be drafting from, I want to be the last team to take a quarterback. I think we're going to be far enough behind, particularly in a double flex situation, that we cannot afford to take Drake May over Marvin Harrison Jr. We can't afford to take Caleb Williams over DK Metcalf because we're just not going to have a chance to get any of like the super blue chip players that you would want. And this pick we're about to make actually like super sucks.
Yeah. What's going on with Tyson? Is Tyson draftable here?
He probably is, but like no one knows. Like you know what? I'm going to take Marvin Harrison. My guy, we were actually, I was arguing with the domain guys yesterday. Avery and I were sitting on the couch and he had just done his worst pick in every round tweet. And I said, Avery, I bet your worst pick in every round and my best pick in every round had at least 3 overlapping players. It was not 3, but we did have in the first 10 rounds, Avery's worst pick and my best pick had 2 overlapping players.
I would have guessed way more than that. I would have guessed way more. But if you and Danny went side by side, it would be the exact same.
Well, those guys are really, really high on Marvin Harrison Jr. because they're such draft capital guys. And I mean, he looked okay. I mean, he scored the touchdown yesterday. Michael Wilson looked much more involved with the first team offense.
Well, so the domain guys, here's some background on them. They are dynasty. That is like their bread and butter. That's 90% of what they do. So, of course, they love the guys that were very good prospects. Of course, they love Marvin Harrison, you know. But, yeah, so they are way dynasty pilled. The FSE guys are very similar to you, which is God knows what you're doing sometimes. Real quick, it's 6-point passing touchdown format. How far down are you pushing the rushing QBs like that derive almost all their value from rushing touchdowns, like Hurts? Like, would you rather have Dak or Hurts in a 6-point passing touchdown?
I think I would rather have Dak almost anyway because I'm starting to get like super high on the Cowboys. I would say like Malik Willis in like underdog, like half-point PPR, 4-point per passing touchdown is like a target for me. Malik Willis is like off the board for me in our league. And even like Kyler, where I think Kyler's upside is so related to the running, I'm not that in on. I'm assuming you're Metcalf here.
Metcalf auto pick. Perfect best ball. Like because he's going to give you a floor, like from a season long perspective, you're just going to get so many usable weeks.
I think I started out the offseason really low on Metcalf, and I did a little bit more digging, and he actually retained his like career like yards per target and yards per route run, despite his average depth of target being like 70% of his career average with Rodgers last year. So I think I was probably wrong. Metcalf, very strong chance. Come on in, brother. All right, you guys. Does this not look like a guy who would hang his t-shirts on a hook? It's the most hang his t-shirts on a hook guy I've ever met.
Hey, what's going on? What are you guys drafting?
a $500 big dog team right now. Mason said it's all me as
Here's how it works. I pay the $500. If it wins, Davis wins it. So, yeah,
it's a good deal. It's a good deal. It's a good deal for me. Mason, my chat, they want me to be mad at you. They don't understand how business works. The people who know who Jinxy is, they get it entirely. They get it entirely. The old heads, because my average audience is like 35, 40. They're like, come on, dude. And I'm like, you guys, you don't get it.
Can you confirm that since we brought you on the side in March, my entire thing has been saying, if we get Jinxy, you're out. If we don't get him, you're in. And then we waited until as long as we could.
So the last minute they make a video. We're making the last video before I literally book my flight to Austin. It's all done. I'm in the video, and then Jinxy finally texts Mason back and is like, sick. Yeah, I'm in the league. It's the way it goes. It's that sometimes that's just the way life goes. You can't be mad about it. Do you think that Hubbard is no longer draftable at all?
I think he is, depending on where he falls. I was going to want us to take Herbert here. I know you hate Sutton. I'd be down for Addison, but either one, up to you.
This is a way to balance out the bags, actually, because I don't have very much Sutton. This is a cheap price for. I mean, Sutton after Mekhi Lemon. I like Mekhi Lemon as much as the next guy, but he has not practiced for I think a full week now with the hamstring injury. Nez is my resident Sutton guy. He always likes to take Sutton. If I'm with Knicks, and there wasn't a running back. The running back I would have argued for would have been Bill, actually, probably.
Yeah, I'm fine with whatever. But here's one thing that I wanted to ask you about, with the small field stuff. Here, if you had the ability to take Herbert, if you would have made it, would you have, or would you have passed for a later quarterback having Lamar?
I would have passed for a later quarterback, even still, because I think the ADP values matter a little bit less in the small field stuff. And we, with this team, are likely going to be behind at tight end and probably at flex because we don't have a running back to fill our flex. And I think, to me, skill positions die out after Golden and after Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. The Rashad White, Jacoby Myers, Dubs tier of guys is that's when you start hoping they're going to contribute, not expecting that they will.
The other thing I wanted to ask you is, what's your updated take on the Jags receivers, with the Hunter usage in camp and all the positive Parker Washington stuff? Because for me, I haven't changed my mind at all, but I don't know if I'm being stubborn.
You're being stubborn, bro. Yeah, I didn't want to. We should take Dobbins here, right? Yeah, I think you're being stubborn. I think that I would love to say Hunter's the best pick, yada yada, but Hunter playing on the outside, I think it's good. It's good to get him more snaps, but it seems to me what they're doing is they're constructing everything out of making sure that Parker Washington never leaves the field. It's crazy.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second. Parker Washington's going to go in the 5th round of our draft, and I'm going to make fun of the person who takes him relentlessly.
He's going to go super early in our draft. I mean, I have targeted him. I've moved him up to be a target in my redraft rankings, and I feel stupid about it because his best career comp is Russell Gage right now, and maybe this is just me because I'm so excitable for the preseason stuff. But why won't they shut up about him? I wish they wouldn't shut up about Travis Hunter.
Well, yeah, I think he's fine in ESPN and Yahoo because if you look at the most casual redraft stuff, he's an 8th, 9th round pick. But it's just here where people are really paying attention and on Twitter all day. He's going to go in the 5th.
Yeah, that's basically the way it goes. All right, we have got set up a 1-3-5-0. Lamar Jackson, Christian McCaffrey, Amarian Hampton, J.K. Dobbins, Flowers, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison, DK Metcalf, Courtland Sutton. Do you worry about this stuff that all of our receivers, none of our receivers are on a good team other than Sutton? Those are, well, I guess the Ravens are going to be good, but not a super high passing offense, but that makes me a little bit less likely to take a Denzel Boston or KC Concepcion.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but I think our team hinges so much on how good are the Ravens. Like, I don't think our team's good at all. Has any chance to win anything if the Ravens aren't like a top 10 passing offense.
All right, we are about to be up. I'm assuming that we are going to take Bo Nix here. That's who I'm actually starting to get pretty into Kittle. It sounds like Kittle is probably going to play week 1. Sounds like there. I thought no chance to see play in Australia, but it sounds like he's even trending to travel with the team to Australia.
Yeah, I think Bo Nix is the pick that we have Sutton and Dobbins.
And something you always learn stuff when you're like researching and setting up things for the next year. I did not realize that the Denver Broncos led the NFL in pass attempts last year.
I literally would have never guessed. You could have given me 15 guesses. Yeah, I wouldn't have got to the Broncos.
Oh my God. Okay, we did a game yesterday, like a headband style game. Obviously, as you guys understand, anything related to ball, I was the absolute best at it. But we had one of the creators here, Zach, had the helmet catch. Couldn't be easier, right? If you started to play a headbands game for NFL moments, I mean, how long would it take you to get to the helmet catch? Like, you'd probably get it in like 5 or 7 questions, I think. He straight up, like, we had to tell him, dude. He did not get the freaking David Tyree helmet catch. It was one of the most bewildering things I've ever seen.
A couple of those moments were like, I'm surrounded by idiots. Like, this is tough.
Rome didn't get, when they post the Rome one, they are going to kill him because he couldn't get Josh Allen on headbands. He started guessing NFC quarterbacks instead of guessing Josh Allen. It was pretty impressive.
He was like, north of New York City, on the East Coast, I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks.
It was really bad. All right, we are about to be up. I mean, I think Andrews is fine here. I think Aaron Jones is like falling an absolute ton in these drafts. I'm not like that hip to it. Kincaid is still there. We're probably okay at running back. They all have different bye weeks. What would you be thinking here? Just Andrews?
Why is Andrews falling? Okay. Up to you. I'm fine.
I think we do it. I think you take Lamar Jackson in the 5th round. You've made a huge bet on the team, but basically like all the training camp reports are that he's old. But that stuff doesn't even really matter for Andrews anyway, because the whole Ravens thing is anyone can score touchdown. Remember the year Willie Snead was like a 7th round pick in fantasy football?
Yeah, and I want to ask you, sorry, I see Debo go off, and with the assistant, it said he had risen like 30 spots in the past week in ADP. What's your read on the Niners situation right now? Like, if he was going to rise this much going to San Francisco, shouldn't he have just been going 3 rounds earlier in drafts all along? Is the San Francisco situation perfect for him or something?
It is really perfect for him, but it's just that like nothing is ever really priced in with these guys. Like before Diggs and Debo signed, they were like 4 of my 5 highest, or they were in my top 5 of highest drafted wide receivers. Now that they're more expensive, it's just that people hate the uncertainty. They want to know exactly what they're drafting. They want to know their stacks. Like the Diggs rise has been massive. Look where Diggs went in this draft. Diggs went at 101. He went ahead of Michael Wilson. He went ahead of Jacoby Myers. He was available in the 130s for the last month. But now that he signed, and Diggs was always going to sign, they're just scared. I actually moved Stribling up a little bit in my rankings after last night because he looked unbelievable in their preseason game.
I only saw one catch on Twitter. It was like a sideline grab where he didn't really have any separation. Was there anything else on him?
I mean, he had 6 for 72. The left tackle Trent Williams said he's the best receiver on the team. Like it's just one of those things where with the rookie with the weird prospect profile, and Stribling's like one of the weirdest prospect profiles ever. You want the news to be good. You can't have the overdrafted guy being like, well, right now he is behind Sky Moore, but they're hoping he gets a little bit better.
Yeah,
we should take Mark.
Up to you. But big picture, give me the Stribling profile.
Big picture Stribling profile would be like, what if Xavier Legette was good?
Well, I mean, as somebody who drafted a bunch of Xavier Legette last year or 2 years ago, whenever he was at the end. Interesting.
His profile's not that different than QJ. It's not really that different. It's like this guy's going to be able to add a bunch of yak. He's going to score touchdowns. He's probably going to have some drops. Like the QJ college production was like very spotty. People were really worried about him coming in.
Well, what's the update with Christian Kirk and Evans?
The update on Christian Kirk is that he has not returned to practice. Evans, they said his quad strain is not that serious, but he's also 33 and practicing next to the substation every day. You know what? They made the Titans practice closer to the substation at their joint practice. They literally put the Titans in between them and the substation. It's pretty crazy.
Do you think the substation matters at all, or is it just one of the funniest memes ever?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all, but it's so funny. And for a team that is so ridiculously injury prone, see, the thing that people forget about the substation is the narrative forever has been that the 49ers trainers suck. They've changed training staffs, I think, like 3 times while Shanahan has been the coach. And also, people do mention this, like, if it's in all these guys' head every day, doesn't that, if it's in your head, isn't it a little bit more likely that you're going to be like, my hamstring doesn't feel great, boss?
Especially if it's looming over you. You know the Airbnb's next to the substation, right? Have you seen it? Yeah.
I know you want Omar Cooper. I'm going to nominate, I'm actually going to nominate Trey Tucker. No, Tajay Spears, actually. Yeah. Spears, I mean, it's hard to tell how much you can gain like from just training camp stuff or just preseason stuff, but it was basically like instead of just being a passing down back, he and Pollard were just used interchangeably. Cam Ward looked like shit. Not that that's all that surprising.
Well, how many drives did they play?
I think they played 3 drives. They played, I think, 19 total plays. The starting offense did.
Okay, and Ward looked bad the entire time?
Ward looks like comically bad. It was enough that like people who'd been like, Brian Dable gets him in, like those people are all like deleting old tweets. Like his very first play, he did the run 19 yards back to try and avoid a sack and get sacked anyways play.
Is it like, I don't know, here, random question. How much of the Jugs machine competition with you losing yesterday was just run bad and variance, and how much of it was skill?
So I definitely think the first drop that I had was run bad. I think that was legitimately run bad. I was also like, I was amped up. Like I was way too keyed up. I needed to take a second and like take a deep breath. And by the time I'd like settled down into a rhythm, the balls were going 55 miles an hour and it was too late. But like I remember going to go line up for the first one and thinking in the back of my head, I was like, dude, you are way too jazzed up right now. Like you need to settle down. Like, and I did like the Huberman, like the physiological side to try and slow my heart rate down. And it didn't really work.
Cam Ward must have looked really bad if he's falling into this. Up to you. It's your money. I wouldn't do AD Mitchell, but I'm not here.
See, I know you want to be an Omar Cooper Jr. guy. It's been the exact opposite. Everyone says AD Mitchell looks incredible. Omar Cooper Jr. not drawing rave reviews.
Can I put into context what Davis just did? He took a player that was effectively cut by his first team that got picked up.
Given away.
Yeah, got picked up by the New York Jets. Then the Jets decided to draft a wide receiver in round 1, a pass-catching tight end in round 1, and Davis went, he's a Jet now, possibly the 5th option in his offense. Let me take him in the 14th.
I truly believe this from my heart of hearts. This is a $500 draft. I'm drafting heart of heart stuff here. I legitimately believe this. I think he will be the number 2 pass catcher on the Jets for at least the first 8 weeks of the season. It will depend on Sadiq's sports hernia that he's recovering from. I think that Omar Cooper Jr. is going to be buried to start the year. I think he'll be like a rotational, like literally like 4th or 5th wide receiver to start the year.
I just can't believe that Ryan Flournoy just went ahead of Cam Ward. Like, how bad was it?
I'm telling you, dude, you should watch like 17 seconds of it on TikTok. It was really, really bad. It was really bad.
So are you moving down the Titans guys? Are you moving down Tate? Are you moving down the running backs?
I actually did already have them all a smidge below. The guy that I would move down would probably be Tate, because I think part of the Tate ADP was hopium that he would be in a better offense, and I think that hopium looks pretty gone. What do you want to do here?
Cam Ward. How that would be me. You don't have to. You don't have to.
I think you're right. I think you're right, because I think Cam Ward, like the 15th round is a bit ridiculous.
Like, I would not take Ward here if it was a BBM or a large field contest where you just have to have so much of a higher score in your flex to advance in weeks 15, 16. But with these being small pods for weeks 15, 16, I think a 3 quarterback build and just raising the median projection from a season long perspective is fine. Again, I think this would be a garbage pick to take a third QB on a Bo Nix Lamar build for a large field puppy BBM, but in a smaller field contest, I'm fine with it.
I'm with you, and I think we could even still get away with 3 tight ends on this team too, because our skill position stuff is pretty good. We've got CMC, Hampton, Dobbins, Marks, Spears. That's actually a fine running back room. Normally when you take Dobbins, Marks, and Spears, you really feel that something went wrong, but that's fine. And then it's just we really need Zay Flowers to be good. We really need Zay Flowers to be good, man. And we have the 2 Jets. So we have a good bet on Geno here as well. It's never the Jalen Naylor pick. Yeah, Stroud was awful in his rookie preseason. That is true.
Can you give me your read on the Raiders wide receivers? I know it doesn't matter for redraft. It's mainly just a best ball thing. But is it just Trey Tucker and Brock Bowers and that's it?
I definitely have Trey Tucker ranked ahead of Naylor for me. I think there's a chance that Besh could end up mattering. He looked okay yesterday. Mendoza looks a little bit more comfortable making the tight window throws than Geno. Geno doesn't really like to do that. Mendoza gave Besh 2 yesterday. I think we got to take. Well,
can you hear me out?
Yes.
Yeah. I like Malik Washington because the free agent receivers are gone now, so he's locked in. So I've actually moved him up a little bit since Diggs and Debo signed, but up to you.
It's him or Helm or Barner.
Up to you.
Oh, we took Malik Washington. There you go. That's fine. We are placing a lot of faith in Mark Andrews right now. But yeah, I think their 11 personnel, my guess is that it's going to be Trey Tucker, Jack Besh, and Jalen Naylor, and Tucker will lead in fantasy points. I could see Besh outplaying Naylor though.
Is Darren Waller draftable?
Darren Waller's draftable. I think I put him in the flock ranks yesterday at I think I moved him. I want to say like 196. I think Darren Waller is no different than Mike Gesicki or Evan Ingram or whatever. I mean, he scored 6 touchdowns last year, which is 6 more than Evan Ingram scored.
How old is he? I think I could never draft Darren Waller.
Darren Waller is so old that he would be older than me. He would be one of the guys who would be more of an unk than I would be at the flock fantasy get together. That's how old he is.
Yeah, he's showing up to the locker room and he's the Davis Maddock of the situation.
Yeah, he is. Now, some people have been with me that the Jugs machine is difficult. I did no practicing. Frankly, I got to be honest, guys. I just assumed I was going to be good at it. I just assumed how hard could it possibly be? And it turns out that the answer is it's hard. It's harder than I imagined it was going to be.
We went to practice and I was shooting him at Sal just so we can make sure the Jugs machine was working. And he was catching 100% of them. I was like, this is going so fast. You're either a god at this or it's way easier than I was expecting, And it turns out
Sal's really, Sal is an athlete. We got to take Frymouth here. We need a tight end. And then we got to decide at the end if we want to do another wide receiver or a third tight end. But Sal was, Sal's just one of those guys. You guys know these guys in your life. Sal's legitimately good at everything he does, I think.
Okay. I hang out with Sal all the time. I smoke this dude in pickleball, smoke him in volleyball. We smoke him in everything but the freaking Jugs machine, and that's on camera. So, I want that on the record.
The Jinxy reaction, you guys are going to have to subscribe to the Flock League YouTube channel and go turn noties on to get the Jinxy reaction. Then you'll get it. Yes.
He goes, "Do I know what pick I got from that? I saw Davis kind of shit the bed, crying emoji."
Tough. You know what? Tough, but fair. It's tough. It's tough, but fair. I didn't do my best. However, we're still gonna navigate a winner. We're still gonna navigate a winner. The more I talk to these guys, the more confident I feel.
Here's the deal. Danny is the most predictable drafter you know. He likes his 10 players, and he's going to get his 10 players. He doesn't care about the cost. But everybody else, like, it's tough to read them. I don't know what I'm going to do, you know? So, like, how the hell are y'all going to know what I'm doing?
I'm gonna react. I'm gonna stay on my toes. You know, I'm gonna be a value-based drafter, man. That's all I'm gonna do. And that's all I'm gonna tell him to do. If he wants to do something insane, that's like I'm the guardrails. That's the idea. Like if he wants to take Josh Allen in the second round, I'm gonna say, hey, I don't know if that's the best idea.
He knows what he is doing. Like I was watching a stream where he was talking fantasy football, blah blah blah, and he was talking with people who really don't know what they're doing, you know. And they were talking about Achane being like a top 5 pick, and he was going, "Oh no, Achane's an early second, blah blah blah. He may be good in the early second, but." So he knows what he's doing. He's playing into it, of course, that he doesn't, but he'll be locked in. He'll be good.
Hey, that's a win-win for me. If Jinxy smashes, this is all good. This is all good for me. The draft, we are doing the draft tomorrow at noon. It's not going to be up until theoretically the editors are going to have it up Sunday. We'll see. I mean, I just watched. No chance. I watched Thomas. He stayed up literally all night. I went to bed at like whatever 9:30 or 10. I brushed my teeth. I tell Thomas good night, and I wake up this morning at 6:30. I get up to go brush my teeth. Thomas is still sitting there finishing the video that you guys saw. So I'm gonna guess no chance on Sunday. All right, Mason. This is what we draft. This is what we have brought. Lamar, Bo Nix, Ward, CMC, Hampton, Dobbins, Marks, Spears, Flowers, Garrett Wilson, Marvin Harrison, DK Metcalf, Courtland Sutton, Adonai Mitchell, Malik Washington, Mark Andrews, Pat Fryermuth, Evan Ingram.
Good team minus the wide receivers. We need a couple of the wide receivers to exceed expectations.
Honestly, that right there is like, that's when I think of drafting a team with Mason, I'm like, we scooped up some value. I did one thing that he totally did not approve of, and taking Adonai Mitchell. When Adonai Mitchell went, you would have wanted me to take
Jalen Naylor.
Naylor. I would not take Naylor on a big dog. I would not take. All right, sub out. I'm gonna have Danny come in and review his team. What time are we heading over to Denny's? Okay. Okay. Cool. All right, there we go. People are saying there's a new tournament. Let's go. Yeah. Okay. Not gonna see the cards. Okay. All right, cool. If you guys want to watch this man do his fantasy football punishment, we are going to go do that. It's going to stream over at the Flock League channel here in a little bit. Make sure you're subscribed over there. I think we're also going to play cards, so you will get to see that. There's a new friend sheet, 4 entry max, $6 to enter, 9,432. Danny, you drafted out of the 10 hole. How'd your team do?
Yeah, apologies in advance. My voice is still a little cracked from last night. Oh, I'm cooked. You mentioned Thomas, by the way, absolute fiend editing. I came out for water at 2 a.m. He had the headset on, going crazy. But, 10 hole here. End up going with the double hero RB start here. James Cook, Chase Brown, projectable volume, good offenses. Can't really complain with that start. At the 310, I was debating it. I'm like, I don't typically like going with Josh Allen in the third, but with James Cook, with the volume value there at 310. Feel good about that. Like Buka falling to the 39, 31 overall ADP. Can't complain about that. Backfield wide receiver, Carnell Tate, Brian Thomas Jr., Josh Downs, spoiler, all guys that I'm very high on, and we may or may not have talked about Josh Downs recently. So Tucker Craft 8-3 kind of was a decision point for me. So the 11 hole, I really wanted to get Chris Godwin because I just like to project in there in the 8th round. But Tucker Craft 8-3, I view him and Laporta as kind of like those mid-round tight ends that I'm okay deviating for. Gainwell, very simple. I had the correlation. I got sniped on J.K. Dobbins. I considered Rashad White, but realistically, because I was planning to build out through the Bucks, I just see Mayfield. Okay. So, and obviously, you stack that up with Baker Mayfield. I was really praying that Kincaid would fall to me. I was like, oh, man, 130 Kincaid. I thought Bush was going to take him at that 120 spot. I believe he was picking. So get him to fall. Dijon Stribling, I was really debating between him and Boston. But because I was thinner at receiver, I just trusted with the better offensive projection there with Stribling. Jonah Coleman, I mean, auto smash there for me at the 13-10. Very valuable backfield. I'm not in on Harvey. J.K. Dobbins, as we know, very, very, let's just say, good bet to miss 5 games.
We're directly competing because that team's going to be Dobbins.
100%. Jalen McMillan, very simple correlation with Baker. Brian Robinson Jr., I didn't really like many of the clicks on the board there, but at least we know he's like the clear number 2 option behind Bijan. Bijan's going to be a workhorse, or you're just kind of betting on that contingent value there. Kate on stacking with Baker. And then we backfill there with Rashad Bateman, very solid, 11 personnel projection. We'll see if Jacoby Lane height kind of, comes to fruition. But if you had to ask me in the first 4 weeks who's going to project for the second most routes on that team, I still think it's Bateman. And then I know Cookies is a meme, but with Allen, with the touchdown upside, Denny drafted a nice team. Appreciate you there, the Bear.
There we go. All right. How does a bruise feel, Danny? Show him. Yeah. You got smoked. You legit got smoked. Yeah, it's tough. All right, boys. I am gonna go get out of here because I actually told Bush I was gonna go record a draft with him. So there we go. There you go. I actually figured out a new camera situation. So my situation is gonna look different when I get home because I finally realized that I can use the HD camera on my phone instead. But I will see you guys back. If I stream, it's gonna have to be tomorrow morning. So I'll see you guys then. Take it easy, everybody.